Live with session 1 of Blood and Beauty.
Okay.
Would everyone like to introduce themselves and their characters real quick? We'll go up from the start of Discord, so Barry. Okay, I guess Steph isn't here at the moment. Edward.
Okay. Did you read what I wrote and thought was okay?
Yeah, I looked through everyone's backstories and everything, so everything looked okay. There's some stuff we can go over here in a minute before the game starts, like getting equipment and stuff.
Okay. Well, I did have a token that Stephen was making, but
We shouldn't need it for this session.
okay.
But if we do all, we can deal with it when that happens.
Okay.
There it is, though.
Yay. What? Okay. I got the bright pink background, but okay.
It has to be, all the backgrounds have to stand out a huge amount, otherwise it's a pain in the backside. I've got yellow, which is not particularly fetching.
Alright, so am I going over what the other characters would know, or is this just sort of a recap of the character creation?
Yeah, just give a quick recap of character creation. You don't have to go into full detail and tell everyone everything, just give a general idea.
Okay, so my character is named Edward Liang Durand. He is the son of Senator Liang, who is, I think each planet has their own senators, some of them have more than one. And Liang Hanyul is the senator for Mars. And she had a whole career path and history set out for her children who would, join the military, the advocacy, do all the sort of standard things that looks good for a political career before eventually, taking over as senators and high advocates and all that malarkey. And so that was what Edward was busy doing for most of his life. He was a member of the UEE Navy after graduating from medical school on Mars and served aboard as a ship's doctor. At some point we uncovered a smuggling ring thanks to a tip-off from this guy called Barry, who looks a bit shifty. But we gave him a recommendation for helping us put down this smuggling ring that was infiltrating the ship, and that was all well and good, but the encounter with all of this seedy underbelly and all of the horrible things going on outside the glittering high echelons of society inspired Edward that maybe his skills would be better served doing that helping those people rather than serving on a big ship full of expensive equipment and the best that the galaxy can offer. And so has left the service after having his transfers interfered with, and has wound up on Ops Station Demian after being given over the clinic by the station manager, who is quite pleased to have someone who actually knows what they're doing attending to that kind of business.
Excellent. For your contacts, while we're on you, I have Margaret, which is your younger sister. Okay. She's on the station with you, is that correct?
I put her on Terra. But,
okay, she's on Terra. Then what about it says band member of Seraphim? Who is that? Have you named them?
I just did a name generator, and I've got Morgan Caden.
Cada. Understood.
Those are my allies, I guess.
Okay, for equipment, I have for you a mobile comm TL8.
Okay. So I just put that in gear.
Yep.
Mobile com.
Basically, it's the equivalent of Mobiglass in this universe. Like it's like a cell phone slash like smartphone sort of thing, but it comes up as a like a hologram on your wrist.
Oh, Galaxy 12S. Okay.
You have a MedKit TL8. Just ordinary civilian clothing, however you want to describe that. And 250 UEC. Is there anything else you were hoping to start with?
I'm not sure. Would they let me have a gun after leaving the military?
I don't think for your profession you'd probably have a gun on you.
I don't know. Steven says there was a massacre here last week.
No.
It hasn't happened yet.
That's in 10 years.
Okay. So that's 250 UECs like cash on hand credits.
Yeah, it's credits, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so next we'll go back to Barry, since Steph is here now.
Hello. I forgot to give myself a home world last time. Oh dear. Trying to find.
If you want to join us all together, you could choose the city of New Austin on Terra, because that's basically where I come from. And I think Mule basically went to university there as well. And so, and Zill's just said that his has some connection with Terra, so might be a good one.
How do you
My
spell
little sister's
Terra?
probably at that university. That's what.
Yeah, so the university is the Origin, the university set up by Origin Jump Works, who are a ship manufacturer. It'd be really fun if your sister boards with my mother.
Is there anything in the book about the home worlds? Oh no, this is Star Citizen, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Right. Oh god.
There was
Yeah, I'll
in the
go with
first
that.
Traveller. You would get some skills depending on what type of homeworld you had, but I think they changed that and you just got whatever you wanted.
Yeah, they changed that.
So, city of
New Austin on Terra.
how do you spell New Aus?
New Austin. Yeah,
Austin.
like Austin in Texas.
Ah, New Austin, right. Thought it was a more sci-fi spelling.
No. People are very uninspired.
And Terra, is that Terra?
Exactly.
Oh. New Austin. Yeah, that was what I was thinking it was like. Cool. Sorry, Ellie. What did you want from me? Do you want me to go through what happened?
Yeah, just give a quick rundown of your backstory.
Cool. Bottom of the dregs, basically. Tried hard to become a, normal worker, as I wanted a normal life of some kind. None of my family were able to get to that status, and so I wound up joining them on several scavenging jobs. I think I was bloody hell.
Have you got anything to do with the unions? Because my parents are quite active in that, so that might be quite a nice hook as well.
Well, when I For many years, I worked as a scavenger, and but was always trying to get an honest job. And after 8 years, finally able to do it. However, I moved to another world. I had to move to another world in order to get proper work. On the way there, and character, Mule's character. What is your name? Your character's name?
Her name is in the Discord
Mercy-
chat, Mercy
Mercy
White.
White.
All right. Yes. Sorry about that. But while I was a scavenger, as Zil mentioned earlier, came across some key information and was talked into helping what were you a part of, Zil? Sorry.
The United Earth Navy, I think.
Very well.
It was 'cause you got an enemy with the rattlesnake crew.
Yes, indeed. And I was attacked by them after having given Zil's character the tip-off, Edward. After giving Edward the tip-off, and was marooned on a planet, a desolate planet for a while, and had to learn how to survive on my own.
It's hilarious.
But
Basically, you've been gone. I think you should really like cheese.
Strangely, one of the only things I could find was cheese.
There you are. I knew it. Case
Lord
closed.
knows why cheese was on such a place, but I was kind of lucky in that regard. But yes, after that experience, all my luck finally started to pick up, and I found a job. And wasn't able to get anywhere in the job, but I was perfectly happy continuing. But during my time as work, I learned a big scandal. But while working, I found out that the people that I had got the secret off of the rattlesnake crew, and I think were looking for me and were very close to finding me, and so I had to scarper and found what I considered might be the only place they wouldn't look for me. Here.
Noise.
That's all I've got so far.
Very well. And who is it who's with you on the station? Well, think about it and I'll come back to you. For equipment, you have mesh armor, TL6.
Mesh armor.
And that's tech level 6 or TL6.
TL6.
Clothing, just ordinary clothing.
Cool.
A mobile comm, TL8. Again, like smartphone, Moby Glass sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
A mechanical toolkit, TL5.
Mechanical toolkit, TL5.
A dagger, TL1. Then you have a loaded antique pistol with one bullet given to you by the rattlesnake crew after They left you for dead. It's TL3.
Are you doing a Jack Sparrow trick, leaving the one bullet, kill the guy that?
Oh yeah.
And 100 UEC.
100 UEC. UEC. What TL was the antique pistol?
3.
3. Q. Oh, the person I might have with me might be a criminal contact I gained while I was a worker.
Well, this shouldn't be your contact. This should be
Okay.
like an NPC who's like a friend or
Very well.
family. Someone more personal than the contact.
Very well. Mother?
Okay, your
Mum.
mother.
Could have brought my mother along with me, as they would have potentially tried to take her to get to me.
And what's her name?
Margaret.
Very well. Then we are ready to move on to Erica.
Okay, I'm Seraphin, and I'm playing Erica. She's the daughter of a pair of corporate players who aren't too high up the ladder, but constantly scheming to try and get themselves into a better position. Kind of ended up dragging her into their schemes every now and then, which she wasn't really a fan of. She always had a talent for performing, primarily singing. And her parents did try to get her into a prestigious college for the arts, which she failed the entrance exams to. Some might say deliberately, but there's no proof. So this led her just team up with a couple of her friends into a rock band so they could tour and actually have some fun. After one incident where her father dragged her into a political incident involving the Banu, she managed to help out to get a peaceable solution to the event, but she kind of realized this is how it's going to be. I am just going to get dragged in again and again until that's my life, unless I leave now. So that's exactly what she did. She and her bandmates packed up, disappeared, and went touring the stars. They got some success, they got some fans on the way, but eventually ended up a bit stuck and short on cash on Demian. Don't really have the funds to get all of them off at once, and so they're not really getting anyone off at that point, so we're just here making the best we can, just being the best entertainment the station's got. Probably the only entertainment the station's got.
It's the only legal
Excellent.
time station.
And for your people with you, you have Morgan Cada, Carla 10, and John Cornell. Is that correct?
Yep, my 3 bandmates and best friends.
For equipment, I have you with TL10 cloth armor. It's indistinguishable from normal clothing. It's the sort of thing worn by someone who's famous.
Okay.
A mobile comm TL8. Any instrument or other appropriate sort of equipment you need to perform your songs and dance or whatever else.
Okay, I think my bandmates would be the ones with the instruments.
Mhm.
I'd just be the singer, but probably a stage costume.
Okay, so put that down on your sheet then. Actually, if the stage costume, that might be your cloth armor.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe you've got a drone that does all sorts of microphone effects.
Maybe.
That could be a sort of instrument.
I think that would be probably provided by the venue still, so
Fair enough.
you might have like a microphone and speaker sort of thing, but probably not a drone.
Okay, so
And then,
Like equipment.
yeah, and then 50 UEC.
Did you say what surname you had?
I didn't. It would be Taravin, if that's interest to anyone. And I think I have Erica as being from Earth, weirdly enough.
Excellent. Did you get the 50 UEC?
Yeah, I'll just be adding that.
Excellent. We can play off on the Sol versus Terra hatred.
Okay. I think next on our list is Mercy.
I think Mule's eating, she said.
Okay, we can skip her for now and go to Miller.
Just a quick one. So Josephus Miller is the son of a bunch of blue-collar workers from the New Austin shipyards on Terra. He is born into a family that was previously like 9 generations in the UAE Navy, but they kind of fell on hard times. So they, his immediate family are basically quite impoverished. But when he was 9, Origin moved to New Austin and sighted a new ship works there that brought prosperity, and he was also selected for a scholarship. So he kind of had an argument with his father about going because he didn't want to. So he left home and hid on the streets of the capital of Terra Prime, so that he wouldn't have to go to university because he wanted to join the Navy, because his grandfather and his brother were killed by the Vandal, and he basically wanted to fight the Vandal, and that's really all he ever wanted to do. Anyway, the advocacy picked him up, sent him home, made him return to his family, and his father basically made him go to university. So he went to university. He met Mercy there. They actually married for 2 months, part of a drinking dare, actually, and parted as best friends, and have kind of been kept in touch ever since. Miller then immediately annoyed his entire family, apart from his grandmother, by joining the Navy, and was basically involved in lots of military engagements because he chose quite dangerous posts, and eventually his ship was virtually destroyed, and he lost a lot of friends, and he suffered from survivor guilt for many years. And so he fell into drinking, was transferred to a desk job in Office of Naval Intelligence. And that's where he met Erica and Edward's characters, and may have come into contact briefly with Barry as well through these arms smuggling and the diplomatic problems with the Banu. So, but only in a very peripheral way. So eventually Miller was thrown out of the Navy because he was accused. He was basically framed by some of the people he was investigating. And he's now on Damien because his brother and his grandmother are advocacy agents in the Largo planet, which is basically where in the Nexus system, which is where the OP Damien station is. So on the station, he's got his brother, who's Charles Miller, who's an advocacy agent, and his grandmother is retired and lives on the surface of Largo, and is kind of a sort of a grandee amongst the advocacy agents in that system. So Miller's kind of a washed up investigator, down at heel, and a bit of a loser, and slightly estranged from lots of his family. So that's pretty much where I'm going with that.
Understood. Excellent introduction. Let's see. We might have to change your equipment because your backstory has changed, because I did all of this in advance and you changed it like right before. So.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, we can just play it by ear. Here's what I had for you originally, but I think you got rid of all the undercover stuff.
Yeah, because it didn't kind of fit.
Okay. So originally I had like cloth armor TL10 that looks like clothing, But
That might fit because I have been a bounty hunter for about a year now, so
okay,
it kind of does fit.
so that works. Obviously, a mobile comm TL8, like everyone else. It's kind of just standard. Like nobody doesn't have a cell phone unless you're really, really. None of you are that poor because they're so cheap.
Indeed.
I had for you a passive bug, TL7.
Nice.
It's the kind you have to recover. It doesn't transmit.
That's good. Less likely to be detected.
A dagger, TL1. Then I had a body pistol loaded but with no extra clips for TL8. Do you want to change that to a stun baton, or would you like to just keep it?
Miller doesn't have energy rifles, so it'll have to be a slug pistol anyway.
Okay.
Miller's the kind of person who, if he's taking in a bounty, he's sufficiently angry now that he shoots them in the kneecap
Got you.
and then drags them out.
Well, it's a body pistol, so it's easier to hide on your person. And then I had 50 UVC for you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's to you, Richard, and then we'll hop back to Mercy after.
I'm playing Richard Gibson. Richard was basically born to an extreme low rank, poor family.
Michael, can you... I think you might need to adjust your, your voice pickup because it's kind of choppy.
Are you push to talk, Mike?
No,
Okay, then your mic sensitivity settings need changing in the Discord. That's what it is, I think.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because it's like clipping the very, very beginning and end of what you say.
I agree.
okay, honestly,
Do you know how to do that, Mike? It's the cog wheel down by your name at the right at the bottom. And then it's in voice and video settings. Hello.
Are you still there, Meal? Are you still eating? Well, Michael gets his mic fixed.
Yep.
Sounds like
Yep,
she's...
I'm here.
Okay, do you want to do yours real quick?
Okay. Well, I don't have much, but hi, I'm Mule. I'm playing Mercy White. She's born to a single mother in OP Station Dimian. She doesn't know her father. Her mother always said he was up to no good and dangerous, and we're better off without him. Her mother is a physician on the station, but not an actual one. She provides no questions asked kind of treatments for a small fee. And Mercy always wanted to be like her. And she pursued after a dream of becoming a proper doctor. She tried for the university when she came of age, and she managed to get in. But the university life was oddly much more comfortable than what she had in the station, so she indulged way too much, and that led to her falling behind on studies, getting married for 2 months on a dare, and in the end she couldn't graduate and was forced back to go to her mother. She was obviously very disappointed, but she didn't give up. She decided to pursue the career even though she wasn't able to graduate, so she tried that again. However, due to a mix-up in the exam dates, she accidentally took an exam for the field researcher, and that led to her actually getting into it. She didn't plan it, but she thought, well, why not? It's close enough. However, things didn't go well. There was a very severe accident on one of the sites, and she was injured very badly and got another one of his co-workers killed. And she was immediately sent back. After that, she, of course, didn't give up. Tried again after about 4 years. This time, thankfully, she managed to grab hold to her career without any incidents. But the accident from before was hovering over her head, and she was dealing with a lot of lawsuits. That kind of caused her to take time from her work and try to solve the problem she had with the law. She managed to find a loophole in the evidences against her, and it was enough for a mistrial. And so she thought she's done with it and continued working. But she felt like, I don't know, she was destined for many more things. And again, being a doctor was always her dream, so a little bit of mingling here and there with the bosses and their wives and everything in wine parties. She managed to get a recommendation to study under a medical expert. I believe that was Zil. I'm not sure.
Indeed. It was Edward.
Under Edward, and she's with him now. Study.
Excellent. What was her mother's name?
Her mother's name is Rose.
All right. And for items for you, I have clothing.
Just 1 second. Okay.
A mobile comm, TL8.
Okay.
I'm just going to put the next one in chat. It's a computer. It's basically designed to assist in medical diagnosis. And
Thank you.
lastly, 100 UEC.
$100.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I believe we're ready to go back to Richard, assuming you've gotten your microphone issue sorted.
Does this work any better?
Much better.
Okay. Me and Discord are always having arguments over my voice thing. Okay. Richard was born into a very poor family. His dad couldn't hold down the job, mainly because he got a criminal record. His mum had to work 2 low-paid jobs to keep food on the table. They were stuck on the in the Davian system, just not going anywhere. His older brother left school and soon entered the same downward spiral as their father, and Richard would have gone down the same path. He just managed to make it all the way through school, but could never get into university, and things were going badly until he had a fateful encounter with a Marine recruiter, so for the UEE Marine Force, who typical Marine recruiter, kind of lied about what being in the Marines entailed and made Richard believe it was a great career, easy life. He could sail through life. His first few years were, to put it mildly, a shock. People were shooting at him. He had to fight. It was hard work. He hated it. But he loved the actual combat. He lived for the fighting. He got hooked on combat and loved it. Outside of fighting, very slovenly, he was a skiver. If he could avoid getting into doing work, he would. As soon as you get him into a fight, the guy's great. And his career in the Corps was probably going to stay as a simple private and never get anywhere better, until he encountered a naval officer, which I believe was Miller, who, seeing how good he was at fighting and combat, realised, push this guy in the right way, he could make a very good Marine. So he did. And once Richard started advancing and getting responsibilities, he realised he liked this as well and really pushed for it. So he's managed to get up from being a lowly private up to being a corporal, and has a career path that might get him up to being sergeant at some point or something really high. He's been transferred to the Damien station because, okay, it's an out-of-way station in the middle of nowhere, but there's a lot of trouble out there. There's criminal elements causing trouble. Great way to get promoted is to be involved in good, efficient police actions and combat. So Richard's there hoping that he's going to do well and work and succeed at the on the station. His one friend on the place is the sergeant in the squad, whose name is Dion Jones. He's the sergeant who's basically in charge of the squad. So Richard knows some of the other squad members as well. So that's basically Richard.
Excellent. So who was it who you had with you on the station?
Dion Jones. Sergeant Dion Jones.
Gotcha. And he's friends with your character? Is that correct? Michael?
Yeah, we've known each other a few times, encountered each other a few times on different missions. And when Richard moved to the station and found that Dion was the sergeant in charge of the Marine squad, knew he was going to get on well with him.
Excellent. So you have cloth armor, TL10. But it's not just like, it doesn't look just like clothing. It's more of like a officer's or police officer sort of guard security officer.
Okay.
You have the mobile comm TL8, just like everyone else. You have a stun stick TL8. Basically think like a stun baton sort of thing. You have an auto pistol TL6. It's currently loaded with 2 extra magazines as well.
Okay.
And 150 UEC.
Cool, got it.
Excellent. And with that, I believe we're ready to start, unless anyone had any last minute things they wanted to mention.
just gonna make a whole new character quickly.
Okay, so with that, Oop. Windows is so noisy sometimes. Hold on 1 second. My Windows is being rating. So, the date is January 8th, 2935. We start with good old Barry. Are you here, Steph?
Yes, I am.
You're busy working on some basic repairs around the station
Hmm.
and doing some medical work. When you get a comm coming in from Cassandra Tellerson. She's the manager of Station Demian. She says to you, Barry, get your ass up here.
Yes, indeed, I will. I don't like this part.
You sort of track up to the top floor of the station with like an overhang that kind of looks out onto the hangar. You see this like stern black-haired woman, middle-aged and a bit pudgy, sort of sitting in a chair. But her look actually, despite her tone of voice when calling you, her look is kind of surprisingly pleased. And as you enter, she sort of stands up and beckons you forward towards the window. And she turns to look out of it.
You called?
Do you see what that is out there, Barry? And she sort of points out the window.
Looks like space.
No, you daft bastard. Look over there. And she points and you see sort of floating in the general direction. It's the shape of a ship. It looks extremely beat up. And you can see it's like battle scarred. There's turrets that have been blown off of it. And it's damaged in various other ways. How knowledgeable is your character of ships?
I don't think that. I know some semblance of piloting small crafts.
Considering the condition of the ship, you're not too familiar with the model, but it's definitely a rather large ship. Do you see what that is, Barry?
Well, it looks like a ship. Does it bring friends for you to work with?
It looks like opportunity. Our chance to finally get off this shithole of a station. 100% legal salvage. As long as no one goes telling the UEE that it showed up here. If you catch my drift.
I guess I do. I'm not sure.
Do you know how much money that this could sell for in salvage? Imagine if it's still working.
It looks like it's a miracle it's still working. Might not last much longer.
Well, that's what you're going to find out.
Oh, goody.
Well, go ahead and suit up then.
Oh, God. No. I do not like this part.
Well, think about it. You'll get a cut. You'll be set for life. Finally off this shithole, doing whatever you want, wherever you want.
That does sound pleasant.
It looks like the pirates got it, but it's still technically legal salvage.
Very well. I shall go and see. Sorry.
While you're at it, why don't you get some medical officers, and I'll send Richard with you as well. And she kind of reaches over to her intercom and she clicks the button. Richard! Richard, I know you're there.
Oh dear.
Don't ignore me. You see like an angry and disgruntled look on her face. I'll have you ask for this, Richard.
I wouldn't like to be Richard right now.
Damn bastard's likely drinking on the job again.
What kind of monster would do that?
Why don't you head over to the
Back
bar
in
and see if you can find Richard? He's probably watching that damned band again.
Well, they are quite entertaining. Yes, I shall go to the bar and try and find it. Oh.
Who's calling?
Richard, I'm sending Barry over to come pick you up.
Why? Ow. Knew I shouldn't have had that extra couple of drinks last night.
I imagine you're still at the Hanged News.
Yeah, think so.
Go pick him up, Barry.
Will do.
You head over to the Hanged News. There's music playing, and there's a band with like a singer currently going. Do you want to introduce yourself and your bandmate to Erica?
Sure. Well, there's Erica up front singing. Very big blonde wig. We've also got there's Dran Cornell on lead guitar, Morgan Cada on bass, and Carla Ten handling the keyboard. And we are Rose and the Freebirds.
So you see them sort of you see them over there sort of playing music, and then you see kind of in like the corner of the room is Richard. He's having a drink with someone else. Do you want to introduce your characters, Stephen and Michael?
After you, Mike.
Richard's basically just, at the moment, rubbing his head and downing as much coffee or equivalent as he can.
Miller looks unkempt and like he hasn't washed in several days, and a strange-looking pork pie hat perches on top of his head.
Like I was telling you, kid, you should have listened to me.
It was 2 drinks. It wasn't that bad. Ow. Stop shouting.
You alright, Gibson? Pats him on the back.
I was till someone screamed down my ear.
You weren't in the room.
That would have been worse.
You can have a alcoholic ginger beer, please. Say to the bartender.
He nods and he goes and begins pouring you a drink.
Okay.
Anyway, pal, like I was saying, we're all washed up here, right? I need to get myself some script. Is that okay? Look.
Washed up, speak for yourself.
Look, you owe me one, kid. Put in a good word for you back in the day.
Yeah, I know.
So, Gibson, do you want to know why I'm down here?
Hey, pal, do I know you? You're lost.
Excuse me, mate. I'm here to talk to Gibson about a job.
You know this guy?
He's with me, Miller. It's all right. What job?
And no, you don't know me, mate. Giving him a look.
Miller's face flushes angrily.
Chill, Miller. Chill.
Ah, that's a good drink. Gibson, there's a ship coming in. It's scruffy like, such as yourself right now.
There's always ships coming in.
But this seems to have the good woman eagerly excited. She thinks we can make a lot of money. She can make a lot of money out of it.
What good woman?
The one that shouted down your ear hole, lunkhead.
As I said, what good woman? That's a screaming harpy.
I was being ironic, mate. At least I think I was. Anyway, I'm going in to see if it's salvageable. If it looks a bit run down from the outside, might not be so from the inside. You're coming with me, you know. Keep an eye out for me.
And what's in it for me?
I'm guessing a cut. She didn't say.
Typical. Give me a moment.
Yeah, sure. Got this drink to drink anyway. Good band, eh?
I use my mobile and call her back. The screaming harpy back.
Make sure not to call her that.
Cassandra picks up and she says, "Finally sobered up a little bit, Richard."
I was sober as it was. Just having a conversation with a friend. This ship. What's in it for me if I go along?
It's legal salvage. As long as the UEE doesn't hear about it.
So I get a cut.
That's right.
Okay, fine. I'll go along. Oh, by the way, Cassandra, got a mate here, Miller. Good guy. Knew him when he used to be in the Navy. Might be useful as a bit of extra backup.
I know Miller. He's a bit of a scrub, but he's good in case anything gets sketchy. Miller,
Yeah,
you've had a
good in a
few
fight.
run-ins with Cassandra in the past.
He's good right in a fight.
Miller makes a face. He motions with his hands as if to say that this woman is a complete tosser. He doesn't say anything out loud on the comm.
Oh, yeah, great. He says.
Richard makes a motion that indicates he agrees wholeheartedly with Miller.
What's the ship? What's the ship?
It's a little outside of the station. Too dumbed down for the docking call to work. You're gonna have to EVA out.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Erica, it's about this time your band is sort of cleaning up for the day.
All right, good set, guys. Now let's see about picking up our pay for the day.
Hey, doll, great hairdo. Says Miller looking over.
She's just gonna ignore him, just wave that off.
Whatever.
Hey, Erica, innit? I know you. We've met before.
She'll kind of look at you a bit surprised, like, what?
I was on tour, but you were on tour, and I was your guard. I'm the guards on it.
Ah, what?
Richard Gibson.
No,
Remember
not
me?
from back. Not from back there. That incident with the Banu? Damn it. Thought I could leave that shit behind me.
Sorry, love. That sort of shit follows you,
Well,
like a bad smell.
if you were hoping for an autograph, you're out of luck. No do.
Just saying hi. Don't be like that.
Well, fair enough. That's fine.
She has one good tour and thinks she's all that.
Still think it's a great hairdo.
As you're having this
agree with you.
conversation, you hear like a voice sort of screaming at Richard over his comm. Richard, don't forget to pick up the medics too in case things get dirty. Remember, this job will give you enough money to get off the station for good.
I'll get some medics.
You hear this over the comms, Erica.
Yep, she'll perk up at hearing that and hurriedly get her wig and other costume stuff packed away. And just kind of whisper to her bandmates like, hang on a minute, I'll be back later. Just don't wait up for me. Okay?
Your bandmates go over to the bar to pick up their small, sort of criminally low pay for the evening.
Erica's then going to attempt to follow this group without being too obvious that she's following them.
Understood.
What are the rules again for carrying beer around the ship, the station?
Sorry, what was that?
Asking. Okay, I'll say it again. Do you guys know what the rules are about carrying beer around?
Don't spill it on anything breakable.
Good, I'll bring it with me.
Yeah, you would know in most places you probably wouldn't be allowed to, but here it's like commonplace. You probably will get some looks though.
Nah.
So you pick up a beer and you've had out.
Go and find us. Go and find those medics.
Miller clinks 5 UEC into Gibson's hands. It was a wig. Who knew?
I did.
Son of a bitch.
Tightens the grip on the coat money and sticks it in his pocket with a knowing smile.
Pixie Dick, ain't Barry says to Miller.
Erica, do you want to give me a stealth check just to see how well you follow them?
Sure. I don't think I'm trained in stealth.
Pray to the dice gods then.
Looks like a pretty good roll. Very well. We'll say for now. Well, I guess it's opposed by all of their recon intelligence, I believe. If the rest of you want to make me a check to see if you notice her.
I'm not sure if we're.
Even if you're not trained, you can still make it. Also, make sure if you are trained, you check the little... I went through and did this on some people, but if you're trained, you need to make sure you check the little... It has like an X. You have to click it and turn it into a check mark. Because I noticed some people didn't do that, and then like they had all their skills, and they were all like, here's all my skills. My best is -3. It's like, there's something not right with that.
I didn't see it, okay?
It's all good. I'm just letting you know. I tried to fix it. Okay.
I'll just.
Richard, you kind of notice Erica telling you.
It's a good beer. Really good beer, this. Have you tried it?
No. Well, yes, but more interested in the fact that that singer bird's following us.
I guess Miller's pickup line wasn't as bad as we thought.
Heaven help us, is that easy?
Can't complain, eh, Miller? Oh yeah, Steve's not here at the minute.
So where are these medics?
So you head over to the medical office on the station.
That would be a good start to look.
Always.
Where do you want to introduce yourselves, both Edward and Mercy? You're currently dealing with a one of the mechanics on the from the basically like the equivalent of like the dumps. He got his arm stuck in a trash compactor. Now you're busy kind of sewing him up. There's a lot of blood in the medical office at the moment as you walk in.
Right. I mean, I'd probably have met everyone at least once.
Mm-hmm. Your patient is currently out, by the way. He is unconscious.
I think, let's see. I think Edward's probably, like he's probably stepped back. He's got a comm pad out. And he's monitoring things, but he's letting Mercy do the actual work since he's like trainee. So he's there observing and making sure nothing goes wrong, and just letting, and making a few pointers here, like you need to do that bit again.
Where, this bit? She kind of pokes the arm in a random place.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to use his forefingers if you nip that, so would avoid that bit.
Oh no, his arm is like unsalvageable. Well, I mean, there's prosthetics, but he can't afford something like that on the station.
Oh right, I think it was that bad. God, I'm a terrible doctor.
Shouldn't we cut this? Dr. Edward?
Okay. You need to, cauterize it, and then you fold the skin over the wound, and He'll live.
I can try. Yes.
That'll be a first for you, Edward, having one that lives.
Is he
I look-
kind of?
We're a bit busy, and I can see you carrying drinks. If you're here for a hangover, I'm not dispensing hangover cures.
Oh, sorry, mate.
No, we're not here for a hangover.
Barry tries to put the beer in a coat pocket on the inside to hide it.
Richard shakes his head at seeing that.
Well, if you could just wait a moment while we, as you can see, we're dealing with an emergency.
Oh, this arm is goners, guys. Don't mess around with the garbage disposal thingies.
Oh no, those things are lethal.
Barry recognized this guy as Thomas Jones. He's another mechanic on the ship. He must have been fixing it. He had heard that it was broken.
Poor Jonesy. Poor sap.
Good news is it's probably fixed.
What the the transcript backed up. Every cloud.
Should we do a medical check to finish healing this poor mechanic?
Yes. Make me a medical check. It will be Edge at making it because
Yeah, I was about to ask. Okay.
I guess make me a check to assist, I believe. Edward.
Okay. Click. Eight.
I believe that should be good enough. Oh, excellent, Mercy. Does that include the +1 from your computer as well, or no?
Oh no, I forgot to add it.
Okay, H is a success, so you get +1, we say, from Edward and +1 from your computer for a 12. So you, thanks to some expert advice and your own experience, you managed to kind of get the arm sewed up into a, reasonable condition.
Not my worst work, Doctor?
No,
You're
that'd
doing
be
quite well.
yeah, that'd be me, Doc. Mercy.
Oh my god. Joseph, is that you?
Is this oh my god good or bad?
I'm in the middle of deciding that. I'm just kidding. It's always good to see you.
Miller embraces Mercy. Good to see you, baby doll. Walking and talking as usual.
I think
Hey, look, you got
Mercy's probably covered in blood. from-
yeah. Look what you done to my shirt, baby. God damn it.
Well, it's your fault.
It's not a goddamn dry cleaning place on this whole damn station. Son of a bitch.
Put it in the medical recycler. I look out and see if there's anyone else in the queue at the clinic.
Not currently.
Just make sure you don't put your arm in there, Miller.
So, Doc, are you free? We've got a little job for you.
Well, there's no one else needing medical assistance. What's this about a job?
Oh,
I looked at Barry.
well, the job, sorry, is a ship is coming in, and Cassie, the good woman,
Dreaming
Yes.
Harpy.
yes, Yes. Thank you, Gibson. The
Oh, no, it's never nice to badmouth someone who isn't here to speak for themselves.
indeed.
No, Smishy speaks enough for herself normally.
Yes, Gibson. Thank you. We are the job is where what's the phrase? UVA? We're UVAing out this ship. I'm looking over it to see if it's salvageable. If it is, get a cut.
So, a ship is coming in that the station manager wants to salvage,
Yep.
and you need a doctor.
It's
In case any of the crew are still alive.
Well, if
Or
they
barely.
are alive, you can't salvage it. Isn't that
It's-
how it
That's
works?
where you come in, boss. I don't think you're getting this. If there's anyone left on board, says Miller, loving his voice,
You
sedate him.
You don't understand your
Yes.
role in this, do you, at all?
Let me put it this way. The word is, from the good woman, that it is legal salvage so long as UAE ain't hearing about it.
Listen, pal, do you want to get off this dirt ball or not?
A lot of money in ships. It's the only big purchase round here.
Sorry, you're asking me to potentially murder people?
No. Stop us
Sedate.
and stop us from being murdered.
I thought
Well, I wouldn't
stop-
want any of you fine people to be murdered, so...
Hang on, I thought stopping you lot being murdered was my job.
I could use the practice.
It is, Gibbo. Just keep your powder dry, pal. Mercy, you're not coming. This could be dangerous.
What?
Okay, I know that face. You're coming. Son of a bitch.
That's my boy.
Never thought I'd see the day when Miller was pussy whipped.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen a right hook.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. You got another bird tailing you, Miller.
Oh yeah, the singer bird. I think your comment about her hair caused her to be interested.
What?
You see like the shoulder of someone like at the doorway, clearly trying to like listen in, but they don't understand that their shoulder is like slightly visible from.
You remember the girl with the wig? She's been following us.
Miller's face goes very red and he looks embarrassed at Mercy. No, it's not what you think. I've only... Look, I can explain.
Oh, honey, it's okay.
God, I wish I could find someone as understanding as that.
It's not okay. I'll make it up to you. Just a minute. Miller goes and has a look and sees who this woman is. You can come out now.
What?
Hello?
You talking to me?
Yeah. Is there something we could do for you? Nice song, by the way. Great hair.
Excuse me,
Thanks.
Gibson, I need a piss.
No, I was just, on my way home. Just checking my comms on the way.
Apart from the fact that the living quarters are the opposite direction.
Nice one, Gibbo.
Taking the scenic route. What's it to you?
Scenic route takes you past medical. Try again.
What can we do for you, Miss... forgive my gorilla friend here.
It's alright, I've met him before. Yeah.
Hey, you get around, Gibbo.
Just overheard something about getting off this shithole station, and dunno, that sounds interesting to me.
Okay. Nice, but what do you and your band do? I mean,
I don't think we're going to need a speaker system over there. No offense.
Maybe not, but you're talking a lot of money to get who knows how many people off the station. What you're doing's either very, very lucky or isn't meant to be done.
Is this blackmail? Is she blackmailing us?
Oh, I wouldn't put it in such harsh terms. Just,
I like this chick.
I'm interested to come along and see what's going on. Because, I am the most entertaining thing on this station. If there's something more interesting, I've got to know about it.
Look, this makes no sense, but you're in. You've convinced me.
Well, that was easy.
Well, we've already figured out Miller's easy.
Don't push it, Gibbo. There are limits now.
Whatever you say, sir.
What is
Gibbo.
this ship?
I don't know. I had a look at it. It was big. That's all I can tell you.
Hey, thanks for the detail, pal.
No prob. Anytime, Miller.
Did you see any markings?
Yeah, a lot of damage. Been attacked by pirates, by the looks of it.
Something big attacked by pirates.
Yep. That's all I know.
That's either a military ship or a cargo ship.
Couldn't tell you either way. Maybe we can ask Cassandra. The good woman.
Good luck with getting a straight answer out of her.
You underestimate her, Gibson.
Have you dealt with her at all?
You know perfectly well I have.
I rest my case.
Strangely enough, she was more pleasant than usual when I talked to her earlier. I guess this shipment, potential salvage cheered her up. On any other day, I'd be agreeing with you. Oh, this is a really good beer.
Is he doing that deliberately? Have you told him? Miller looks at Gibson accusingly.
I haven't told him anything, Miller.
Why, what's the problem, mate?
No problem, pal. You drink your beer.
Ah.
Oh, you didn't bring any for us?
Mercy. I hadn't touched a drop in a year. Had a little, little problem.
Little problem.
Oh, we can fix that.
I like her.
She's
Why
out of
don't
your
you
league,
save
pal.
the beers for after?
Actually, wait a minute. Do I, looking at Mercy, do I know you?
Oh,
I could have sworn I've seen your face before.
Yeah, we know. In your dreams, pal. Get lost. This one's spoken for. You are
no,
spoken for. man.
no. Miller, he has a point. My eye bites him from somewhere. Huh.
For some reason, seeing your face while drinking this beer seems very familiar.
Okay, now I'm convinced.
Richard puts his arm round Miller's shoulder and goes, "Looks like you got competition, mate."
Hey,
Shut up, Gibson.
this is not funny, pal.
If she's spoken for, I ain't. Don't worry.
It's funny to me, Miller. It's funny to me.
I wonder
Anyway,
where we met.
I'm
Son of
sure
a bitch. Miller looks at his comm. It's a Carrick. Uh-oh, those look like vandal damage. That is not good. Hey, pal. Your station manager sold us a pup. There could be Vandal on that ship. And then Miller hurriedly looks round, realizing he said that quite loudly. And you know, you don't play around with them. Gibbo, I assume you've got nothing, high caliber to deal with those assholes?
I ain't a gunner.
About the only thing I've got's my pistol.
You've got an image of the ship? Can I see?
Miller calls it up. It's an exploration class military vessel, although some are in civilian hands.
I mentioned this in your whisper, but this one is definitely not the civilian variant.
Nope.
Hey, suddenly your station manager's anxiety about the UEE finding out about this kind of makes sense. This is a Navy ship.
Well, you didn't think she was worried about them because it was perfectly legal, did you?
No, of course not. The girl's a bitch, what can I say?
Well, we might, if we're going to be possibly dealing with vandals, I think this is any way of getting any more weaponry.
This might be very serious. I'm gonna go and pack my medical supplies. I go over to the entrance and turn the sign from open to closed.
A light shuts off as you flip a switch.
Hey, Doc. Could be injured personnel over there. We better go over. Frack the salvage. If there's enlisted, we gotta get them out there safely. You in?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Miller, you know Cassandra, by the way. He would have known all of this as well.
Do I know what we'll need to get on board a Navy ship? Can I get hold of some kind of computer that will help us hack the locks? We could hire one maybe from some...
I mean, it's
low-lives
got
on the
holes all
station.
in it, so you could just...
Okay, so we can just EVA in. All right.
It's actually, when you look at it, it's missing. There's like 3 modules that are supposed to be in the bottom of it, and there's none of them are there. Whatever cargo it was holding, or whatever module was there, has been taken.
From this schematic, looks like we can get in for the lower cargo deck. Jesus, the ship's a mess. All right. We haven't got firepower, so we're going to have to go for numbers. Hey, you got a vac suit? Says Miller, pitching his voice so that the singer hears him. What about your crew?
No, I left them back. I know how to use a vac suit, though. I mean, who doesn't?
Okay.
You know that there's some lockers with vac suit for personnel that, you could obviously use for this.
Section 3. Strut 4. Let's do it.
I suppose there's somewhere we can get a bit better weaponry. I'm not going up on this place with just a slug thrower in my belt.
Sure, I'll just pop down the gun shop.
Maybe we should ask Cassandra and see what she thinks.
Yeah, that probably would be a better idea.
Open the comms to Cassandra.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Wait, where's your ass, Gibson?
I'm in medical. We're getting things sorted. It's just that you've kind of failed to mention that this is a military ship that looks like it's been beaten up on by the Vandals. I'm the only one with a gun.
I've already scanned it. There's no life forms.
Miller opens his coat and you see a body pistol snuggled next to him. And he holds up his fingers as if to say, two guns.
I wouldn't have sent you in without telling you if there was someone alive on there.
Yes, you would.
Oh, my
Hey.
friend, if this is a military ship, your scanners might not be able to get into the interior, even with all of the holes in it.
Ask her for the telemetry, kiddo. No offense, but I don't think these civvies know what they're doing.
Sure, does anyone have scanners?
I think Mercy has sensors, does she not?
Sensors.
Yeah, I do.
Make me a sensor check.
Miller flex over the data to Mercy's comm.
There you go, baby doll. See what you can do with that. Work your magic. I tell you, in college, this girl could kick the ass of half the grads.
Oh, I'm nothing special.
Bullshit.
9. You sort of look over the scans, and you're pretty confident what you said is correct. It doesn't look like there's anything alive on the ship, though there is some organic matter picked up.
This is odd. Sure, there are no life signs on board. There is some organic material, though.
That could be a bit gross.
Yeah.
Let me guess. Bodies that have been blown apart might appear as organic material on a scanner.
Is there any details about the organic material that I can pick out as in a biological sense?
You would definitely know it's probably not bodies, considering like you look at the scans and it's more square shaped, like it's been stuffed into a crate. Like if it was like bodies that have been blown apart or something, it wouldn't pick up like that.
No, these organic materials seems like they're stocked into crates. It might be valuable, it might be nothing.
Yeah, keep your voice down, baby doll.
Right, wonderful. I love going on missions where we don't know what we're dealing with.
Hey, Merce, what's the power plant look like? Still operational? Dead? Any batteries?
What the
There's currently a faint distress signal, but it's so faint by the time you pick it up, you would already be able to see the ship.
There was a signal of distress, but I think we're pretty late for it now.
Well, if it's putting out a signal, it should still have power, right? At least some.
Could be batteries.
It's faint, but yeah.
Miller, you would know that if a ship like this barely has a signal left, it's probably been out there for years now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Can I radiation from the power plant, is there?
I think this thing's cold as a tomb. I think this thing's been dead a long time. Hey, do we get any exterior feeds? See any markings on this ship?
It has no markings at all. It's an oddity because it's definitely military, but there's no like UE markings that you would expect there to be.
Oh, that's not suspicious at all.
Well, official ships are required to have their registration numbers and such on them, so...
There's no registration numbers, and even the signal that it's giving off doesn't have a registration associated with its computer.
The distress signal, does it use standard UE Navy protocols?
It does, yes.
Apart from the fact that it's not got a transponder.
Yeah, it's using standard protocol, but it doesn't have a transponder.
Son of a bitch, I thought I'd left all this behind. All right. We can sit here twiddling our thumbs till one of the crews on this boat realizes there's some salvage out there. We can get out there and find out what the hell's going on. Ian,
I'm all for going out for jumping in feet first.
any of you guys ever served on one of these boats? Gibbo?
Probably.
Where's the
not sure.
armory? If we can't take guns over, maybe we can get them from on board.
I'll take a look at the plans and see if I can figure out where the armory is.
There's like a locker area with the armory where you could maybe find something, but the scans aren't detailed enough to tell you whether it's currently stocked or not.
I'll point them out and go, if there's any on board, they'll be there.
Okay, let's get down to it. Meet me on the strut, all of you, if you're in. Let's get over there. Can we buy some ammunition for our guns that is recoilless and, in other words, self-propelled, and will work in a vacuum? Ellie?
Sure.
Low lives. Who sells this sort of stuff?
You could probably actually buy something legally like that if you wanted to. I mean, obviously you could go to like a more black market, but all of you are in good enough standing, you could probably get some.
Alright.
For those of you who actually have guns already.
Mercy will quickly gather a medical bag together.
I might need some door. I don't know what they'd be called. Things to.
Breaching charges.
I imagine a lot of the interior doors will have sealed themselves when the breaches happened.
Yeah, but you know what? If this thing's still following the old protocol, they'll open. As long as we can get inside past the main bulkheads. They're going to have some sort of code. We can probably get around it pretty quick. Let's check it out anyway.
Miller, you still have your old identification from the military too. If this thing is as old as you think and hasn't been updated, it might still work.
Yeah, and also I was naval intelligence as well,
Yes.
so let's try it out, people. What do you say? Miller goes out of the door without a backward glance, heading for the Zocalo to buy some of this ammo.
Well, if we're not looking over how well, don't know what use I'll be.
It's
We'll
about,
still look over what's going on over there.
we'll say 10 UEC for clip of base design slugs.
Okay, I'll buy a clip for mine and a clip for Gibbo and throw it to him. Here you go, pal. Back me up on this.
I'm there.
Just like old times, huh? You see a look come into Miller's face that you haven't seen in a long time.
I recognise that look.
Miller goes to the airlock.
All of you suit up in EV equipment. And vac suits, I mean. They have small little propellants on them to get you over there. I am going to need the 0G.
Right.
I believe it's vac suit is the skill.
Actually, it is.
Is it close enough that we can take a tether across?
Possibly.
Or even fire one with a magnetic grapple.
I think it would probably be a little too far actually for like a tether all the way there. Because it's sort of just like floated near the station, but it's not like pulled into the station.
Alright, we're gonna have to do this the hard way. Gibbo, you're the expert. I've seen you do this 100 times. Right behind you, pal.
Okay. vac suit, do I use Dex for this or Strength?
I believe it's Dex. I can double check on the book.
Depends on what it is, but yeah, Dex is a
It's DM discretion for the most part.
yeah most.
Yeah, I would say Dex would probably be the most appropriate thing here.
Do we have any boons or bones? I check everyone's suits out, particularly Mercy's, before I let the depressurize the outer hole.
I would say that
door.
there's no bans or boons, but you aren't necessarily time stressed, so it should be. I might give you like a boon in that sense.
Yeah, we'll take it nice and slow. I'm going to particularly go over Mercy's vac suit with a fine tooth comb, make sure there's nothing wrong with it.
All the suits
Oh, I
seem to
can see
be. I mean, like they're older suits, but none of them are like damaged in any way.
You sure you're up to this? Says Miller to Mercy.
Fine. I can handle myself. You know that. Remember that second year party?
Yeah, whatever.
I messed that guy up.
I know you did. I remember we spent New Year in the jail. God damn it, what good times. Man, I miss those days. All right, well, look, just stay behind Gibbo here. This guy, yeah, he's the real deal. Trust me.
Love the way it's setting me up, and I'm going to completely out of the role.
What was that?
Okay, let's go. Now set off.
I'll follow.
I do not like this part.
We all having a roll then?
Mm-hmm. Very well. All of you make it over. Barry is. It's a good thing you're going slow for Barry.
Barry's panicking in his suit as you go over.
Is he trying to swim?
Calm down, Barry. Deep breaths, man. Deep breaths.
Hey, watch out, pal. You're going to run out of O2, okay? Just calm it down. Think calm thoughts.
You sort of.
Keep flapping like that. He's not going to make it, let
Calm
alone run out of
thoughts.
O2.
Calm thoughts, beer, cheese.
You sort of pull in to like the bottom part of the Carrack, and you can see that like the modules, now that you're close enough and not just sort of like a far off distance view. Miller, you'd probably be most appropriate on this, but I would say even Barry, just with his natural sort of knowledge of mechanical devices, the bottom isn't like damaged, like they weren't forcibly ripped out, they were ejected after the ship had been disabled.
Okay, well, yeah, this is not good.
Purposefully ejected. You notice that then?
Yeah. This is beginning to smell more and more like my dear friends in the Black Ops. Stay sharp, everyone.
Oh,
Miller flex over.
Black Ops. Oh, God.
Chill out, Barry. We'll keep you safe.
You sort of pull up, there's like a door that's closed on the edge. It's got power, but it's sort of flickering, the switch for it is. Miller, you can try to get access to it if you want.
This is computer's check.
Yeah, it's a computer's check.
Intelligence or education?
I would say it'd be education for this, considering it's based on like your prior knowledge. I'm gonna give you DM +2 as well, considering.
Let's see if these assholes still use standard protocol.
Excellent.
Nice.
Miller plays with the switch for a second, and it pops open rather easily for you, Miller. It's definitely like outdated by modern standards, but it's good because you know this kind of system in and out.
I still got it, says Miller, flashing a grin at Mercy.
The first thing you see when the door opens, Miller, is all of the lights on your, because all you have like lights on the top of your suits, sort of go into this dark room, and you can see floating around is like this sort of staff-like object that ends in like a few prongs. You recognize this, Miller.
What in the hell?
It's a Vandal weapon.
Uh-oh. Does it look like they've removed it from a ship? Or is it a hand weapon?
It's like a Vandal staff weapon. It's, it looks like it's heavily damaged, however. You can see
Sure.
like it's like, it has like a few bullet holes that have punctured it.
Miller floats over towards it, shields it from the others with his body, and then but lets Gibbo see it before poking it out of the way so no one else can see it.
Understood.
He goes onto the private channel. Uh-oh, looks like we could be in for some shit here, pal. Stay sharp.
Let's hope the damage and the age of this thing indicates that whatever happened yonks.
Well, listen, pal, my code worked. I've been out of the service 2 years. It's got to be an old ship.
Good. But I still pull out the gun and check that it makes sure that its safety's off and it's ready for use.
Same here.
All of you see them enter, so they pull out their guns as they go ahead of you.
Miller turns back to the public channel. Just a precaution, people. Nothing to worry about. And then he goes private with the Doc. Doc,
Hello?
stay with the little girl. Make sure nothing happens to her. You got me?
Okay.
Miller floats off deeper into the interior, his searchlight playing across the bulkheads. He checks his sensors to see if there's any radiation or any better readings.
There's no radiation. As you sort of enter, you can see, though, you might be able to connect to the ship's computer. Actually, if you want to try that, you can. I'm not going to require a computer check since you already did the door.
Hey, Gibbo, cover me. I'm going to cut the data core out, see what we got here.
On it, moves to position to where it can cover the whole room.
Well, I just mean connecting to it remotely, because you're just kind of at the bottom of the ship. The data core would be closer to, like, the actual cockpit, I want to say, like the bridge.
Miller calls up his Moby then.
So you're able to connect to it, you know, same way you connected to the door, or open the door. It seems most things are either, well, as you'd expect, heavily damaged. You can see the computer system. The main computer is broken. The secondary backup computer is still working, though. And you can see only 40 of the ship's normal 60 cores are still functional. But the computer system is at least working. And you can actually see that the power in the ship, at least from what you can tell, the generator is still functional. It's just not on.
Does it tell me what the fuel reserves are for the power plant?
Minimal, about 10%. Which, for a ship like the Carrack, that's still can
That's a
go
lot.
for a decent amount of time. So let me see here.
I'll try and go closer in.
I'm just looking at my notes here because I have notes for this. Out of the 4 turrets, let's see, the one remote turret is mostly functional. The other ones are all broken in some capacity. 2 of them are completely, basically, damaged beyond the point of usability. Actually, I think... Yeah, 2 of them were damaged beyond usability. One of them is usable, but it looks like a few of the guns are out. And one of them is having a power shortage, and some of the guns are out as well, so that one is like barely usable even at short range or medium range. Shield generators are generating about 50% capacity. As far as like their maximum ability, they're not currently on, obviously.
Do I think we could salvage? Do I think this ship would be functional if if some kind of bottom modules were erected? Just either.
Well, it's
Yeah, I think-
flyable without the bottom modules. They can be attached or detached, and it's not like it's going to vent to the rest of the ship. You'd have to close up some of the damage on the hull, obviously, if you didn't want it constantly losing O2 and atmo. The grav plates still seem functional, they're just not currently powered on. But it might be able to salvage the ship, though it's kind of beat up.
Well, Gibbo, there's a lot of red lines on this, but you thinking what I'm thinking?
What's that?
I'm thinking crime.
Well,
This ship's got 10% fuel. Why do we gotta share it with that bitch back on the station? We're the ones over here busting our asses, right?
Well, apart from one small thing, can you fix the holes in this thing? Because I can't.
No, true.
And with all those holes, we're only surviving on the oxygen in our vac suits, which ain't going to last us long enough to get anywhere.
Yeah, it's true, but these ships have got big O2 tanks and they're designed to operate when they're hulled. We just connect our suit lines onto the main life support system and don't pressurize any of the cabins or internal spaces. Come on, Gibbo.
And where would we go?
Off this piece of junk, that's for sure.
Are you on the public line or private?
No, we're Gibbo and I are talking on private there.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Not sure. Sounds dangerous and risky and heck with it.
They've been silent for quite a while.
You really think Cassandra's gonna pay us fair and square? Come on, pal.
As long as she pays me enough to get off this rock, I'm fine.
Oi, you two done gossiping like a pair of little girls? What's the deal here?
Business
always-
talk.
You always this antsy.
Miller, I will point out one problem you know with your plan, which is the fact that the ship has no sort of built-in identification currently.
Yeah, I know. That is a big problem.
Ships are normally manufactured with that, and it's illegal not to have them. And you could easily just get blown out of the sky if you show up without identification.
Of course.
I mean, I am usually antsy when guys with guns sit in a corner whispering and looking around.
Well, they're on a private channel because keep in mind you're in space. So
But,
you're
yeah, I can't
they're-
hear what they're saying, so...
Well, I'm going to level with you, says Miller, going on public. Gibbo and I were just suggesting or musing over taking this ship and taking off, but Gibbo's made some fair points about, well, the technical difficulties of doing that. Our problem is, I don't trust that bitch back on the station to pay us fairly, right?
The problem is, who else is going to pay us at all?
There's plenty of people who pay for this kind of hardware, but trouble is dealing with them. Well,
Yeah. You want to deal with those kind of people?
not really.
Plus, we got to get them there. Get the ship to them.
All right, let's get inside and find out what the hell's going on with this ship. Looks like we got some fuel. See if we can get the thrusters back on.
you head back in, kind of going through most of the ship. You can see
Okay.
it's.
Can I set up my comm to record what I'm seeing and hearing?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to do that.
So you kind of go through the ship. You see it's damaged. As you're sort of scanning through, Mercy, you eventually come across the organic material sort of floating around in the one of like the storage area for the ship. There's a few crates kind of floating. You can see on the outside there's like blood kind of coating a lot of them, and not like coating, but like they have blood splatters on them.
Does it seem like it's coming from the inside or it just splatters?
Like someone had like been like maybe shot or like on top of this. And you can
Well,
just see the
that's
crates
weird.
kind of floating around.
Mercy's gonna go and try to check out what the crates have inside.
Whoa!
What?
Careful, girl. Don't know what's in that.
It's something organic, and I'm not afraid of organic things in my life. I'm not gonna start being afraid now. But just to be sure, I'm gonna use my sensors again.
Not you. Where's that guy? He points at Barry. Hey, you!
Sorry, what?
Could you come over here, pal?
I'm looking around for a source of all of this blood splatter. Like, are there any bodies?
There aren't. The ship seems bodiless.
What do you want of me?
Might need you to open this box, but first, everybody else take cover. I'm right next to you, pal. So don't worry, I'm not setting you up here.
All right
You
then.
worry too much, Miller.
Wait. Don't
Why
open
still
the
alive?
box. Don't. Maybe
is-
there's a manifest or something in here.
Yeah, let's see if we can find it.
A ship with no markings? I don't know if they'd have a manifest.
If they have, it'll be encrypted. It's a problem.
Yeah, you go to check it. Make me a computer's check if you want to try to get into this.
Okay, this could take a while.
Oh, with an 11, you managed to log into the system Miller. It's not the most secure system on the ship. And you find like a log of, it just looks like the ordinary things you'd expect for like an exploration vehicle, like food and other supplies for the journey.
I download the astrogation log so I can find out where the ship's been, assuming they haven't been wiped.
The astrogation log is missing.
Son of a bitch.
In fact, most of the navigation computer system like has been ripped out. You can tell from this. It'd have to be replaced if you wanted to try jumping with this ship. You could do normal speed, but if you wanted to do a jump, a QT, you'd have to replace that system.
Well, there goes my plan. Stealing this boat.
Was it ever really a good one?
Hey, I'm full of bad plans, pal. Just look at my past career.
Yeah, and also, I don't know about you, but I've got people I'd rather not just ditch behind on this shithole, so...
Hey, I wasn't talking about leaving permanently. Just making sure that we get our cut, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Cassandra promised us a cut, but you know, a millionth, a billionth is still a cut. She can say, well, you know, that's all I was able to generate. And we'll have to live with it.
Right.
I'm more worried about why someone felt it necessary to rip out the whole nav unit.
Yeah.
That means someone didn't want anyone to know where this thing had been.
I know. Doc, can you and Mercy put your heads together and tell us anything more about... Well, for a start, is that blood? Is it human? Vandal? What the hell is it? And what is in this box? I'd rather like to know before we open it.
I could take a blood sample, I think.
Yeah, you have a medical kit, so you take a quick sample. I mean, it's dried, but you kind of scrape some off and scan it. It's definitely human.
You got an age on that, Doc? You know when it was exsanguinated, I believe? See, I was paying attention when you used to tell me that bullshit in college.
He says, pointing to Mercy.
I'm so proud.
You're a good teacher.
It would be hard to tell, Edward, considering it's been in vacuum.
Most of the cells have been destroyed by the vacuum, so...
Radiation.
What about what's in the box? Can you tell what that is before we have to open it up and find out?
I know my medkit can't really penetrate the crates. And I'm guessing there's no label on them.
They are labeled, but they're labeled for like repair parts for the ship.
How big are the crates?
They're one standard SCU.
What is a standard SCU?
I believe it's like 1 meter squared. I could double check.
It's not. I don't think it's quite that big, but it's pretty damn big, yeah.
So it's not person sized though.
Well, a person could get inside 1 meter square if they were doubled up.
I mean, you can imagine it's going. It's about your leg height. If it's a meter.
Okay, I think there's only one way we're going to do this. Everybody take cover, just in case. Miller takes aim.
Yep, an SCU is 1 meter squared.
Okay.
Or sorry,
Miller
cubed.
takes aim and indicates for Barry to open the crate.
Yeah, Richard finds a somewhere to duck behind, but keeps a close aim on the crate at the same time.
Miller makes sure that Mercy's way out of the way as well.
No, I want to see close up.
Yeah.
Very well.
Hey Barry, flicker your suit cam.
Right.
You pop it open, and you see guts and other things, kind of actually charred, probably from radiation over the years,
Oh,
like in a microwave, and it appears to be kind of cut up and chopped human remains stuffed into this crate.
I'm not sure you guys want to see this. It's a
We
bit
don't.
grim.
We don't.
What
Looks-
is it?
It's butchered body parts.
Mm.
Miller dials an antiemetic from his suit.
Miller, you do recognize it's Black Ops uniform, though.
Son of a bitch.
I think we found the clue.
Did you mention that, Miller?
Why would they chop people up and put them in the crates and leave them?
I do not want to meet that person, whoever it was.
Vandals, they're not exactly known for their subtlety.
Yeah, but Vandal won't clean up after themselves. If this was Vandal, we'd find these body parts splattered all over the place. They'd think this was a new paint job.
Oh, can we move on? These parts are starting to float about.
Can I see any dog tags, Ellie, to identify who these people were?
Yeah, you see a pair of dog tags come out of. As it starts to kind of slowly. Are you trying to contain this at all, Barry?
Yeah.
Okay, so Barry's kind of closes it back and stops it from running, but you saw a glint of dog tags before he sort of closed the crate back up.
I'll try and grab them before.
Very well, you kind of reach in and grab them.
I let him, reach in without slamming it on his arm.
Thanks, pal.
You look at the dog tags, and it reads Marcus Fame, but and it just says like he's an ordinary like private, but you know that if for Black Ops like the dog tags usually are not the same as like what their actual name and everything is.
Yeah, but we might be able to identify them nonetheless. Miller secretes those in a pocket pack of his holdall, and
You'd have to run it against a database.
Doc, you got
Which you
got
probably don't
something I
have
can put
access
these in?
to.
No, that's right. But maybe I can pay somebody who does.
Yes.
There were scorch marks in there. Might have been someone in there. Someone threw a grenade or something. Close it, let it explode.
Maybe. And maybe they killed themselves.
And put themselves in the boxes.
Well, maybe they ran out of air. It's not a nice way to die, Doc. Some people want to take a quick way out. Who knows? Is this the only box?
No, there's 6 in total. And the boxes have more than one person in them. They're large enough once you cut someone down.
Wouldn't explain why they were cut up, though.
You got me there.
Yeah, these weren't like blown to bits. These were clearly like very methodically kind of cut.
Does this look like... have I ever seen anything like this before in the Wars with the Vandal?
No, you haven't. It's very odd.
Miller
You don't think the Vandal would do something like this?
Miller switches to private with Gibbo again. Is it just me, or does this remind me of somebody butchering people for food?
Either that or for fun. Either way, whoever did it's a sick git.
Yeah.
Have you got your scanner still, Mercy?
I do.
Okay. So this isn't going to be pleasant, but we're going to go through each box and determine how many people are in them.
We should take DNA samples as we're at it.
That's my girl.
Yeah, you can try to get something. Again, most of them are kind of highly... Basically, they've been microwaved over the years.
We'll give it a shot.
With all the holes in the hole, it's been radiation's been leaking in, so just regular radiation from space, not like from the core or anything.
Stand back while I open them.
If you want to take DNA samples, bone's the best place.
Will do.
I get a handkerchief out and put it in front of my visor, even though it's not going to do anything.
You kind of go through and pull out what you can, and get your samples and dog tags collected. A total of 10 you find in the 6 crates.
What is the crew complement supposed to be for a Carrack, was it?
It's not big.
It's not a big crew. 10 wouldn't be necessarily unusual because that would give you some spare people in case you were boarded. It could be a little bit small depending on what the crew was tasked with doing.
So I can assume that this is the whole crew.
Yeah, that would be
a reasonable assumption.
It would be like the crew plus a complement, essentially. I mean, the Carrack has, you have like a pilot. There's 4 turrets, so that's 5. There's a hangar with a snub fighter usually, so that's 6. So you can imagine then any other positions would be the other 4. So it's possible that there were others, but it's also possible that that's the whole crew. It just depends on how they were running it. No, you kind of look through the camera systems. A lot of the cameras are destroyed, but you find that the one for the hangar is still functional. And the hangar itself is in okay position, but the fighter is not there.
We should get to the bridge and check the main computer core and see what that says. Then get off this ship.
Yeah, well, I can tell you now. Astrogation logs and half the nav core is gone. I got most of the rest. But we could take the physical stuff. I mean, we can't let Cassandra have that anyway. If there's anything classified on here, I don't give a shit about what that bitch says. She ain't having it. This is Navy, and I may be a washed up. I ain't a traitor.
So you want to call in the military? Let them know what's going on here?
There's no telling the military didn't do this. I don't know what the hell's going on here. But, no, I mean, if there's cores and stuff, we take them. We either hide them or we destroy them. We don't let that woman have them. This is classified info.
Well, I want nothing to do with that. You keep it to yourself.
Yeah,
Fine by me.
Very
Classified
wise.
for a reason.
So we've identified 10 distinct bodies. I think we can assume that that's likely
What's left?
everyone that was aboard.
Well,
Except at least one person who did this.
Doesn't necessarily mean it was one of the crew that did it.
Were there any vac suits in those on those bodies?
On some of them, but not all of them. The higher commanding officers didn't have vac suits on, but the lower people did.
Hey Doc, the people without vac suits, did they die of decompression? Did they have embolisms? Or were
Um,
they caught? Were they dead before the ship?
I'm not
Blew
sure I
up.
can make that determination, given the
mm.
radiation and the exposure and the dismemberment. Not with
medical?
the equipment on it.
If you can figure it out.
I'll try to help him.
You will?
This has got to be one of the 8 grimmest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you wake up to your face.
Excellent.
Fortunately, I don't have a mirror in front of me when I wake up.
Did you want to make your check to assist? Mercy.
Oh, okay.
So both of you kind of go over those scans on your computer, and with your med kit, you sort of diagnose them. You think that the officers died of decompression, but it's been too long to be 100% certain. It's just an educated guess. Just based on like how the lungs are kind of structured, or what's left of the lungs.
Explosive decompression does seem possible for the command staff.
So if what you're saying is true, whoever cut them up did it after they were dead. That is just even more weird.
Miller, you go and you try to find like the gun rack, and you find the area where it is, but it's like barren and empty. It's been cleaned out. But there's another one of those staffs, the vandal staffs. But this one has been cut in half. It looks like.
Can I tell what's been cut in half by?
It looks like it was sawed in half when you examine it closely. Like very purposefully. It wouldn't have been something that happened in a short amount of time.
What in the hell?
Maybe it was like a robot or something? Like it was made to saw things up and it went a bit out of control?
It's as good as any idea I got. Okay, let's check this ship section by section. Every part.
Yeah, also if this is, I don't know if rogue robots are a thing, but if it is, that wouldn't have shown up on life signs, would it? So it might still be here.
Yeah, but I asked Mercy to scan for power signatures. If there was a robot in here, even a drone, it should have shown up.
Right, sure. So we're okay.
I will mention
Unless it's
that
stealthed.
now that you're kind of in the thing, you have access to the computer, you can tell that it's getting its power mostly from solar panels, and whatever fuel it has came from the fuel scoops. They're still kind of at least partially functional. So whoever did this probably drained the fuel reserves, and then it's just refilled since.
Okay, I think we're going to go over the ship with a fine tooth comb, and while we're doing it, I'm going to assess the damage to see if I think that any of this is deliberate in terms of, like it was faked rather than actual action of some kind.
Did we recover 10 tags to go with 10?
Yes, each one of them did have a tag. So you kind of finally come over the ship. You can see, like, for example, the medical bay has been cleaned out. Actually, pretty much everything has been cleaned out of anything that's easy to grab and valuable. And even a few of the core systems have been gutted as well, though not all of them. Obviously, like power and gravity generation are still in there.
What is it like? This has been picked over by scavengers.
Yes, or pirates, potentially.
Would there be any medical records still intact?
There aren't, unfortunately.
Long shot. You said what that some of the gun turrets were still operational. Can I go and check the operational one and see if it's got any records left at all of what it was last used to fire at?
Gun camera footage. Good call, Gibbo.
Basically, that's what I'm looking for.
You look, but whatever was there, you have to go to the bridge. Yeah, actually, when you get to the bridge, you notice the bridge has an escape hatch, and it's currently open. Not like busted open, like opened.
As if purposely opened.
Yeah, like you can close it now that you have access to it.
Okay, I'll do that.
You check the logs for like the turrets, and it's clearly like I mentioned some of the cores are missing, and all the cores with data relating to that have been taken out.
I thought it was a long shot.
Here's another long shot.
I will mention that in order for someone to go through and take out, like, because they didn't take all the cores, they just took the one specific instead of just busting the system. It would have had to have been done by someone with knowledge of the Carrack, not just like someone who had like a very basic knowledge. This was something more advanced that you'd have to know how to do.
Here's the thing. That hatch was open, right?
Yep.
That probably happened from the inside, and all the command staff who would have been here
Are dead. Yeah.
of decompressation.
Yep. This is starting to smell real bad.
I think one of them turned traitor and blew the whole thing for some reason.
Either that or they found out something they weren't supposed to, and somebody came along and spaced them all.
Are you still keeping the Vandal weapons secret?
No, you've seen the staff that was cut in half.
Well, if it was some sort of mutiny, how did the Vandal get involved?
Vandal are blamed for a lot of things, Doc. I look around the ship. Have I seen any signs of plasma fire on the hull, on the internal surface of the hull, that would be consistent with a firefight with Vandal?
You kind of glance over. I guess that would be, I want to say, give me a
Probably
second.
probably sensors as well.
I want to say actually investigate, because that seems to be most appropriate. Searching a crime scene for clues and that sort of thing.
Nice.
This would be intelligence.
Okay, then that's different. I've just socialed it.
Oh, yeah. Just, yeah, there you go. Ooh, a 14.
That's better. It begins.
Yeah, with the 14, I would say you carefully examine. There are some plasma markings, but they're not Vandal plasma markings.
Do I know what they are?
Hard to say. It could be because aside from the Vandal, like a lot of the different people use somewhat similar weaponry. The Vandal obviously have their staff weapons, which are a little. The mark they leave is different. You're familiar with it.
I'll record the exact telemetry from the sensors, so that I might be able to identify it later. And this weren't a firefight with a Vandal. Somebody stage this. Anyway.
It's a Vandal firefight.
You do know that, like, just kind of based on like the extensive markings, at least to you, it doesn't look like a real firefight. Like, it looks like someone probably went through after and just shot the place up, essentially.
Okay. Looks like this is a bit of a lost cause. Let's get the thrusters working, maneuver this ship in, get a docking collar on it, and then before we open the bulkhead, we discuss our cut with that lady on the station. What do you say?
Now, if someone can get the engines functioning, I can pilot it in.
Yeah.
That would
don't-
probably be Barry.
Is it? Would this class as a small craft?
And I think technically, because I remember I looked into this when I was actually making the stats for this, converting it. It technically is on the small end. It's not a capital ship, but I don't know if I consider it a small craft, but it's right underneath a capital ship, so it's still a normal size ship.
So that'd be a
have-
spaceship then.
Yeah.
It seems I have pilot 0 anyway, so
Well, I've got pilot.
It's not like
I
a
see.
fighter though, which is what I would think would be a small ship. So
All right, let's get this done, people.
Have
Any of
we,
you-
have
any of
we
you
been
mechanics?
everywhere?
I can pilot this thing. I've got pilot
Hang on, hang
spaceship.
on. Have we been everywhere? Because all I remember is the cargo and the bridge.
yeah, you guys scan the ship or like come through the ship. Like I said, the medical bay, for example,
All right, yeah.
was empty. There's like a crew quarters. Again, kind of barren. I mean, it still has like the basic stuff like the beds and blankets, but it's missing most things.
Hey, Barry.
yeah.
Erica,
Yeah.
do you guys know anything about fixing ships up?
A little bit. It's my job.
I'm guessing you
Erica?
don't.
Erica kind of looks like she's about to give a sarcastic response, but just shakes her head.
Miller winks mischievously, as if that's what he expected. Why don't you try find the crew quarters and see if there's, I don't know, anything that somebody combing through the ship missed? Maybe there's some personal effects or something?
Sure, I'll do that.
If the hatch on the bridge was blown, maybe we should make a visual inspection of the hull.
Again, it wasn't blown; it was open.
Miller checks. The door mechanism, did it tell me whether it was open from the inside or outside? Because it should relay that unless somebody's deliberately wiped it.
You can tell it's been open from the inside. That hasn't been wiped.
Inside job.
Did we think it was anything else?
I will mention, Miller, that if someone hacked the system, though, it would still say that it was open from the inside, even if...
I know, because that's how the ship thinks.
Yeah.
But, okay. Before we start the computer up, I'm just going to check, run a diagnostic and make sure there's not some sort of virus in this system.
That'd be computers.
Yeah, I know.
It seems fine, but when you're kind of running your diagnostic of it, you can tell you're not going to be able to power everything in the ship at once, probably.
We don't need to power everything. We just want course control of some thrusters so that we can move the ship. I assume it's not really that far away from the station.
No,
is that
it's
correct?
not. It's not. It did take you guys like probably 15 to 20 minutes to actually get there, though.
Hey, Gibbo, you up for flying this crate?
Assuming someone can check to make sure that they haven't sabotaged the damn thing so it goes boom the moment someone tries to fly this thing.
Don't worry, that was my next thing. Barry, you're with me. Let's check the thrusters and the power plant, make sure this thing's not going to go boom.
That would be preferable. Right behind. Lead me to it.
Gibbo, ready on the pre-flight.
I'm on it.
Can you give me investigation, Erica? And during this, what is Edward and Mercy doing?
I think I'll see if I can get any life support systems working in the sealed areas that are still sealed.
Understood. Erica, you sort of comb through the crew quarters. You do find a picture of someone sort of tucked underneath into like one of the pillows. It's a picture of a woman, a man, and a child, like a family picture.
Any names written on the back or anything like that?
No, nothing like that. It's just a photo.
Well, I'll keep a hold of it for now.
Okay, we're about ready to start trying to power up the ship, says Miller on the wideband. Can I have let's have a sit rep from everybody. Doc, what you up to? Mercy?
I'm doing barrel rolls.
Checking the life support systems.
Mercy is spinning around in the 0G.
While I'm setting up this pre-flight, I'm also making sure that no one's messed with the piloting system and isn't going to try and just fly us into near a big object.
Okay, that would be computers. Also, Miller, you would know that once you turn on the power, the gravity's going to come back on unless you make it not turn on. So.
Yeah, baby doll, if you're rotating, spinning on your axis, you might want to get your boots down on the deck. We're about to switch the power plant back on.
Can you give me mechanic, Edward?
And I'll aid you on this. I actually have mechanic.
Well, I'm asking for Edward real quick because he's trying to get the.
Oh yeah, of course.
Mechanic.
Well, because you're trying to get the systems online, you said.
I'm mixing up the names.
I've got engineer life support.
Oh, that would work. Yeah, go ahead.
Try that one. Eight.
Yeah, you managed to set up. Obviously, you have to wait for the power, but you go through and you close off the doors that are not vacuumed, and then, like for example, the bridge itself actually doesn't have any holes in it. The Carrack actually has a shield which is currently down. Normally, it's only pulled down in combat. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, Steven, but it has like it's basically like the bridge itself is glass, but then it has like a metal sort of shield that can fold out over it in combat situations, which narrows your view, but also obviously gives some defense for the crew. There is one problem, Edward. If you do turn on life support, the only issue is like you can like bring back Atmo inside of like the cockpit, for example, or the bridge. I mean, but once anyone opens the door, the next room has a hole in it, so you're gonna lose it every time anyone opens up the door.
Okay, I won't bother doing it then. But it's nice to know that the system is going to work.
Yeah, it's not fully functional, so like even if you close all of the all the openings, you would probably still have to actually repair the system in order to actually get proper Atmo on the whole ship.
Do we think we can salvage any of those into our medical bay?
What do you mean?
Like, if there's any essential equipment we can steal?
Oh, possibly. Most of like the easy to take stuff from the medical bay has been looted. But if you wanted to take some time, there is like the actual medical equipment that's built into the Carrack hasn't been taken out. So like the bed and all the proper like scanning equipment and tools are still there. It just doesn't have any of the like medicine or bandages or anything else that would come with the medical bay. But you know the actual equipment is worth a fair chunk of change.
Nice. You know, Dr. Edward, our medical little room can use a little boost with these tools.
Probably. But you'll need more than a blowtorch to transfer them across.
Okay, so can I get... I think now we're ready for a mechanic from Barry with an assistance from Miller.
Aye.
You know what you're doing, Barry? No offense, pal.
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay, by the numbers.
I take it this is education rather than intellect.
Yeah, it'd probably be education.
Bugger. Okay.
Let me double check real quick for you.
It is pretty much education because you almost can't make intelligence checks on mechanics because it's just by rote, by the numbers.
It says intelligence or education
does it?
in the book.
Oh, intelligence, please.
So
I'm going education for sure.
I'll allow you to use either. I mean, intelligence is also, I would say, appropriate to a certain extent.
Yeah, it is kind of smashed.
I would say, especially for Barry in this situation, because while he is familiar with mechanics, he's not familiar with working on this type of craft.
Which I'm figuring out as I go along anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously there's some education that plays into that, but I would say it'd probably be more intelligence-based for you.
Cool. Fine by me. I get a +1 now, overall.
Woohoo!
It would have been 0.
Hey, pal, I'm better at this than you are.
Don't rub it in. Okay, a 7. Any assistance from... So Miller, you sort of expertly guide Barry through it. You actually sort of take the reins, but you play it off as if Barry was the one who came up with every good idea.
Hey, I'm the one with the toolkit, mate.
Hey, you're all right, Barry.
Oh,
But if this-
incidentally.
But if this blows up, it's your fault.
Don't worry, I am painfully aware of that right now. And he goes to wipe sweat off his brow, but he just wipes the front of the helmet. God damn
On
it.
3, 2, 1.
You activate the ship, Richard. And it powers on. You have to adjust the systems because there's insufficient power. But you manage to get the engines online. And the gravity is online. It seems like all the basic computer functions have been restored for the most part. Again, you're operating off the secondary computer. You notice now that it's online, Richard. Communications are completely fracked. But the character does come with built-in sensors. So if you want to make me a computer check, you might be able to at least be able to receive stuff through the built-in sensors that it comes with.
Okay, I don't have computers, but I'll
Miller's going up to the deck anyway.
make
How's it looking, Gibbo?
Well, everything came on, but and we've got sensors, so I don't know if you can do anything with that.
Yep. Maybe.
I have electronics at least. I don't think I've got sensors though.
Well, this would probably be electronics or computers. Basically, you're
Oh, I've
trying
got
to...
computers.
Yeah, because what you're trying to do essentially is use the sensors as like a makeshift receiver for actual regular signals, because the actual communications in the ship are offline.
Okay, put the cotton wool in your ears, people. This is likely to be a rant.
Can I help with comms?
Sure, I would allow you to assist. Or you could lead and Miller could assist you.
I'll do the help.
The help is always better. The two of you come together, though, you reroute basically the sensors to pick up normal communication channels. And obviously you can't send anything, but you can at least receive comms, which will help you kind of guide in with the traffic controller. We are going to need a pilot check to get you in. And as you start to kind of turn on the engines, Barry, you hear a familiar voice. Looks like you got it working.
Yes. It was no small feat, but we done it.
How far do you think she can fly? I didn't expect her to be that functional, to be honest.
Don't think she's flying far. Not for now.
We can just about make the station.
We'll come back and as soon as you get her docked. I have a friend who I think might be interested in this.
Very good. Done.
Yeah, about that, says Miller, coming over. Before we dock this boat, we were thinking we ought to discuss the terms of the payment.
Don't worry, you'll get your cut.
Oh yeah, I know. But I'd like it to be slightly better than the testicles of some small bird.
Interesting phrase.
You're always such a stickler, Miller.
Yeah, well, call me old school, but I've been screwed too many times. So...
You're still upset about last time.
And the time before, bitch. I don't forget.
But you do forgive, don't you, Miller?
Don't count on it. Look, I just want a decent cut for all these people on this boat. We kind of risked our asses over here. There's some nasty stuff that I don't want to broadcast over an open comm, but yeah. Could lower your price, I'm afraid. Anyway, there is some good stuff here, so let's haggle, huh? By the way, if I see any bozos on the dock, you know, toting guns and all that kind of stuff when we come in, I might just be tempted to blow the airlock. Shame that.
No, Miller, there's no reason to be so crazy. I can offer you 5% each.
Miller looks at the others speculatively.
Plus the recovery and the transport of the medical supplies that are in the ship into our own medical quarters.
I'm afraid that that's not going to be part of the deal. If I have a buyer, they're going to want as much of it intact as possible. You're going to hurt my price if we're taking equipment out of it.
Oh, there's plenty taken out of here already. Miller flecks over the schematics that he's obtained, minus any classified information or anything that tells about the firefight, etc.
Gotcha.
Whoever got hold of this ship stripped it.
Well, if it's still functional, I have someone who'd be interested in buying it, but we're going to have to get it fixed up a little bit.
That's your problem. We're just taxi drivers, and we're bringing it in. Miller switches to private channel with the rest of the group. So, 5%, yay or nay, people? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I doubt we're going to get much from her, so I'll take it.
I've never got 5% of anything. Oh, sorry.
I mean, how much are they likely to get for a ship like this in this state?
These things are worth millions of UEC.
5% sounds pretty big. Pretty good then.
I will mention your characters will probably know that considering this is unidentified, whoever the buyer is probably is going to be...
Totally dodgy.
Yeah.
We figured that one out.
I've never had 5%. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. I still want the medical supplies.
Then take them. What you don't know can't hurt her. You just won't be able to take the equipment.
They're heavy. And mounted into the ship.
Well, I will say
Yeah.
you just sent her the schematics, Miller, and that would have included the medical equipment, because that was what was left, was just the equipment, not that there's no supplies. So
Oh, so there's no supplies. Okay. Nothing portable.
basically, what they left was they took everything that wasn't bolted to the ship, essentially. So
Sorry, Maris. Looks like
Are
we
we
lose
getting?
on this one.
Is this 5%? Is that of what's left after paying for a refit?
Haha, you should have been a lawyer, Doc. Miller asked this question.
I'm offering you 5%. That's it.
Yeah, well, I want to read the small print first. 5% of the price you get, yeah?
5% of the price I get.
All right. That means we're in on the negotiations.
I mean, I can draw up a deal real quick. I've had some dealings with the law before.
I will mention that this isn't like out of character. You're not going to write like a contract for this, because it's
No, of course not.
this is going to be purely verbal.
Verbal
Don't wo-
agreement can still hold in court.
Hey,
Well,
there's
If
no
you
surviving crew.
if you
The
take
ship isn't officially
well,
registered, so it's legal salvage.
Don't worry, Cassandra. I'm not thinking of paying taxes on this, okay?
yeah, well,
I hereby declare the sum of.
if you were like flying a ship around and found this, it would be legal savage. You'd probably know. I think at least Mercy has some advocacy that like the fact that it rolled into like a UE port, and it definitely has some UE affiliation.
Yep.
It would.
Um,
It would.
before-
I mean, it's in sort of legal salvage, but it would be legally dodgy sort of thing. Like you
I
could get into
see.
trouble for this.
I'm sure you couldn't legally salvage a Black Ops ship anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I mean. It would be one of those things where, like, if it went to court, you would probably end up getting arrested. So taking it to court probably wouldn't be a good idea in this situation.
It's okay, it was an empty threat.
Well,
Oh,
I've
we
never
wouldn't. We wouldn't take it to court," says Miller, looking at Gibson with his gun. There's only one court I like, and it speaks in Morse code.
The People's Court.
Richard looks completely innocent while clicking the safety on and off on the gun.
Miller smiles.
You have to pay the lead price for the ship.
We're gonna pay the iron price.
Oh, it's the lead price. You have guns. It's like
Right, indeed.
Well, shall we get us into port before our vaxits run out of air?
Bring her in, Gibbo.
if you need air
Alright.
too, you could all go get into the bridge and turn on the Atmo just for the bridge.
Right, folks, hold on to your hats. Here we go.
That's gonna be pilot. Is anyone co-piloting?
Yep, I'll co-pilot. Unless somebody else wants to do it. I've
There's
got
3
pilot.
chairs, so you could have
I've
2
got pilot one.
co-pilots.
Okay. Here's my co-pilot check.
Anyone else co-piloting?
The person co-piloting is always better.
Well, I can
I-
pilot if you need me.
No,
I think
I
I'm-
just did pilot because I was trained in it.
All right.
Yeah.
So the
Lovely.
3 of you roll in, or help the ship roll in together. And you manage to get it docked. It's a little rough, but the docking collar gets put on.
I think you got an elastic undercarriage,
There,
Gibbo.
there was definitely some screeching as you pulled into the docking collar, however.
Think you scrape some paint, pal. Says Miller, slapping him on the back.
Hey, this thing hasn't flown for years and looks like someone's turned it into Swiss cheese. Did the best I could.
You did good, pal.
Any landing you can walk away from's a good one.
Okay, let's go. Airlock cam. Miller switches over to see if there's any welcoming committee that he doesn't like.
There are a few people from the station. They're the dodgy sort who are friends with her, and
Are they carrying toolkits or
like
weapons?
toolkits. Yeah, they're carrying like toolkits.
Great. Dirtbag school's in session.
But there's like 5 or 6 of them. And they're
That's
all
what
in.
does-
They're all in suits. Like they're basically getting in on their cut of this.
Okay. Miller contacts his brother. I assume we have now comms with the station.
Yeah. I would say you probably would have had comms at the station. That's why she was able to contact you, because you weren't getting. You only needed to get comms on the ship for like air traffic sort of thing, not so much for contacting her, because you were still close enough for regular radio to work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're 15 to 20 minutes out by EVA, you're not that far in actual distance.
Not at all. Hey, bro. Sending you a data packet. Keep it safe for me, okay? If anything happens to me, want you to send this to this guy in ONI. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, and sorry about Dad's birthday. Must have slipped my mind.
It's fine.
Talk to you later, Charlie.
See ya.
Still forgetting your dad's birthday, I see.
Guy's an asshole. What can I say? Okay, Cassandra, we're turning this bucket over to you. Doc. Miller
I
says, turning off
appreciate
the
it.
call. Doc, there's no chance this ship's got a biohazard on it, is there? We ain't bringing no sort of disease to this station, right?
I think the cosmic radiation would have destroyed any viruses or bacteria.
Unless they were designed to operate in space. Okay. Well, we haven't got the right kit for this sort of stuff anyway, sir. We're just gonna have to take it on faith. But I'm going into the scrubs for decontam. Done about you guys. Okay, we're out of here.
I am now.
Miller smiles back at the rest of the group as he pats Gibbo on the back.
He all goes through decontamination. Everyone.
Can I leave labels on the crates of dead people?
Oh yeah, you can label them if you want.
Just label them hazmat. Please send to morgue.
They'll do so. They'll be recycled. Well, that's standard practice, and you don't waste anything on the station. So
Yeah, I hate to break it to you. We're gonna be eating
Okay.
these guys tonight.
Silent
Steak
green.
knife.
Did you see any
Well-
cows around here?
Can I have them not be recycled into the food supply if they've been exposed to radiation for however many years?
well, they're not usually recycled in the food supply. They're used as like fertilizer or the equivalent, but they might have to be specially dealt with but that's a different department from you.
Don't worry, they'll break them down to elements. It's fine.
It's fine.
They're basically beef jerky at this point. So
If you don't think about it.
This is fine.
So, Miss, I think it was Erica, right? Did you find anything?
Erica's gonna hand him the picture.
Ooh, nice. I know some guys down on level 3 got a nice piece of face rec technology. Problem is, they probably don't have a database, but we can check these people out, see if we can pull out a match. Nice work.
Yeah, I mean, if you were ex-military, maybe you can find them.
Ooh, I'm not going to try those channels. If I tickle them, they're going to start asking some questions.
Right, yeah, just, you might care or something.
I do care, miss, but these are the big leagues. If we mix ourselves up with the wrong sort of people, we're going to be getting some nice nighttime visits, the type where you get a black bag over your head. Maybe you end up in the food recycler if you're lucky.
Yeah, point taken. Let's get decontaminated.
After you.
You go through the decontamination and it sort of sprays all of you down and cleans you up.
Not like
I hate this decontamination gloop.
How are you holding up, nurse? Okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
I'm sort of feeling like that should worry me, but whatever.
You sort of all go back into the station and you're kind of free to go your separate ways or do what you will now.
Miller hangs around a little bit and then makes sure that no one's following him back to his hab.
Sure, make me recon.
God damn it.
You kind of keep an eye out, but you don't see anyone.
Miller puts a fleck in with Cassandra. Let us know when you make a deal.
I've already got a buyer lined up. Just waiting on location, and we got to get enough repairs so she can fly out.
Yeah, just one thing. Do me a favor. No aliens, right?
No aliens.
Are you lying to me?
No, I know a nice woman. Her name is Maria Tubik. Ever heard of her?
Have I?
It'd probably be some sort of social check for this.
Son of a bitch.
Let's see. I would say streetwise.
No, I don't. I do have streetwise actually, but I'm crap at it. However, that will do.
An 8 will do. Yeah, you know her. She's the leader of the Rattlesnake Crew, kind of one of the notorious gangs in the system.
Miller face palms. Well, that's just great. Okay.
I ache all over. I need another beer. Anyone want to join me?
You're buying.
Richard gives Miller a pointed look.
Yeah, I know.
If you're buying, I'm drinking.
I'll buy one. Look at me, mate. Do I look like I can afford you guys' drinks and all?
Well, you're about to be rich, aren't you?
I can barely afford my own love. Oh.
So Miller flecks his brother and sees if he can run a face rec on the woman and the boy, not or the woman and the child, not the man. I specifically tell him to exclude the man. And see if we can find out who they are.
Of course, the woman might be the Black Ops person, not the man.
Perfectly possible.
Did I miss anything?
Maybe.
Nah, nothing fun. We landed. That's about it.
Want to join us for drinks, Ed?
So he runs some scans and you get a message back from him and he says, "Well, I have found something.
I'm not going to like this, am I?
The database brings back matches for both of them, but then it doesn't show anything. It means someone scrubbed the system."
Son of a bitch. People who don't exist.
I can tell you they were here on the station at one point in time.
Do you know when?
No, just that they were on the station. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been in this database.
Ooh, so this ship left from here.
Looks like it. But,
How many carracks do we have go through here? Can't be that many, right?
He sort of, you give him a minute and he clicks on his computer. And he says,
there's only one on record, but that's only on record.
And?
Left about 3 months ago.
Doesn't sound right. This looks like it's been in space a long time, this boat.
Could have been scrubbed. Or just never put on the books.
Maybe, but people ask questions. Attracts attention if you don't put a ship on the books when it's right there in front of everyone. We got any backups? Someone might have forgotten to, scrub.
You'd have to ask Cass for something like that.
Miller face palms. I need a drink. Yeah, I'll take orange juice, pal. Miller looks forlornly at his orange juice and goes and sits with the others.
you sit down with the others as you all kind of head over to the bar. Erica, you seem to be attracting some attention from the other patrons.
Yeah, I'll take a moment to just take a second and give a call to... I'll call Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Just let her know, hey, just letting you know, I'm alright. A little bit mixed up in some stuff, but should be fine.
Sure, she says, yeah, that sounds excellent. And then, see here. Then she says, any chance you've seen Edward today? I haven't seen him around. The medical office was closed.
Oh yeah, he's here too. Kind of a work thing that I kind of tagged along with. It's been a bit rough, so I'll probably be back later. Don't wait up for me.
Sure. Where is he now? I haven't heard back from him yet.
I'll tell him to give you a call. Don't worry.
All right. Thanks. And she sort of hangs up. You can tell from her tone of voice she's slightly annoyed.
Yeah, well, a little busy for phone calls. I'll tap Edward on the shoulder.
Hello.
Yeah, maybe give Morgan a ring, just let her know we're not dead.
Okay.
Yeah, she was kind of looking for you today, but obviously we were dealing with this, so...
How long have we taken? It's like a few hours?
Yeah, it's probably been like a couple hours. 2 to 3 hours you were in the ship. You would have been able to hook yourself up to the ship's oxygen, or you just use oxy pens to get you through, so...
Alright, I'll be back in a minute then.
Nod and then order myself a drink. Try to ignore the attention.
There's just like a few of the bar patrons sort of looking at you or like taking photos.
Is there a space phone shop on the station? I want to try and buy like a backup storage thing, and I will transfer all of the stuff from my phone, not my phone, my mobile comms, onto the backup and then reformat the phone. The mobile comms.
So you're buying a second phone?
No, just like
A backup?
Like a
Oh,
data
like,
storage.
okay. Then you could get that for like, we'll say 5 UEC. If you just want like a storage device.
Yeah, then I'll just wipe the phone clean and then put my contacts back on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I will call Morgan and see how she's doing.
Oh, I'm so glad to finally hear from you.
I wasn't gone that long.
I've been like trying to contact you for a few hours now.
Well, station manager asked me to help a team. I mean, everyone's going to be able to see the ship out the window, aren't they?
Yeah, people are probably talking about it.
The station manager sent me over with the team looking at that Hulk, making sure everyone was healthy and no injuries or medical issues.
Oh, and what's the gossip?
Oof. Maybe you should come down to the bar.
Yeah, I'll be like right over there. I could definitely use a drink after today.
Have you had a day as well?
Oh yeah, there's just like been a little bit of drama, but it's no big deal.
Well, we'll swap dramas when you're down here.
She says, all right, and she hangs up.
Another day in paradise, Doc, huh?
I'm going to get myself some sort of drinky.
I recommend the alcoholic ginger beer. Can never go wrong with one of them.
I look at Miller's orange juice and I say, I'll have that, but with vodka in it, please.
Doc, you're killing me.
The bartender whips you up something and tosses it over.
Literally, it spills all over.
Well, like tosses it and like he slides it over.
Is it like it's like a shot?
It's like a whiskey glass sort of thing, with orange juice and like a shot of vodka in it. It's got a little like pink umbrella and
Ooh.
yeah.
I took the pink umbrella behind my ear.
You do so.
2 beers, please.
The bartender looks to you with like a questioning eyebrow.
Only one of them's for me.
And he sort of passes them both over and he says, "Don't make me cut you off again."
You didn't have to cut me off. I was perfectly fine.
He just sort of like looks over and you can see like a cleaning bucket. And and then he eyes like one of like the waitresses for the bar, and she sort of gives this like disgusted expression, like completely reading his face.
I have no idea what you're talking about, dude.
And that's why I cut you off.
Slight little mess on the floor, and she was asking for it. She'd been flirting with me all night. You didn't expect me to say no, did you?
Ew.
Just don't let it happen again.
Fine, whatever. Picks up the beers, wanders over to the table, plonks himself down next to Erica and just puts the one beer down in front of her. Here, have another drink. Probably need one after all that.
Got my own, thanks. I don't really... Beer doesn't really suit me.
Oh, I'll take that. I never say no to a free beer.
Hey, slow down.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, that's what you said last time. seem to remember waking up naked, curled around a statue.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
Yeah, it was great. I only spent the entire term in detention for that one. Thanks, pal. I seem to remember we got married one time as well. You know, just saying, bitch.
Oh, I know it. My mama was so mad.
Yeah, you think your mother was mad? You should have seen my dad. Jesus Christ. I swear I had two assholes after I came out of that room.
You're such a sweet man. What are you on about?
Yeah.
You know, Miller, sounds like you had more fun when you were drinking.
Oh, yeah, I had a heap more fun. But, yeah. Till lately, anyway. A cloud comes over Miller's face. So, he says in a low voice, Cass is watching us on the station cams.
Well, that's a fucking surprise.
I'd like to give her the finger, but it seems a little impolite.
Oh, that finger, right.
Yeah.
I'd like to give her something a little bit more permanent, but...
Okay, this is getting creepy.
Don't worry, he's not saying what you think he's saying. He's always like this. Gibbo, shut up. You're confusing them, okay? They don't speak Marine, pal.
Oh, you mean
not my fault?
No, it isn't. You're a good guy, pal. It's great working with you again today. Brought back a lot of good memories.
Yeah, it did.
So, Erica, how about that signed autograph?
You know what? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yay!
Just make sure to do it discreetly, because if anyone else sees you giving her an autograph, they'll be asking you for one.
Oh, that's the price of fame.
Yeah, Erica, interesting. How did you go from a big tour to this place?
Yeah, well, you saw one side of me, and this is the other side. Funny how that happens.
That's a bit, isn't it?
She'll just kind of idly sign something for Mercy, hand it back to her.
Thank you.
As you are having this conversation, you notice the bartender, he sort of places his Moby glass for a bit, and then he pours a few like specialty drinks, sort of multicolored, like almost rainbow foaming drinks, and he throws them on a tray, and the waitress brings them over to your table, and she says, "These are on the house for you."
Is she looking at anyone specific when she says that?
No, like just to the whole table. She brings enough for everyone, one per person.
Miller waits till the waitress is out of earshot and says, "Now I'm suspicious. Free drinks, please?"
Yeah, that guy's never given free drinks in his life.
And I've never received them. 5%, free drinks. There's a lot of firsts for me on this day.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. If it looks too good to be true.
Take it for granted.
Knock him back, pal.
As you're having this conversation, you see Morgan kind of come over and slips in next to Edward. So, like, how is your day? It looks like you're drinking something good.
Ain't you gonna introduce us to this lovely lady? No
It
offense,
tastes
Miss.
It tastes like rainbow.
It actually has like a sweet, fruity taste to it.
Is it obviously alcoholic?
Oh, it's definitely alcoholic. It's pretty strong, actually.
In that case, I'll grab the one that was put in front of Miller and stick it in front of Morgan and go, here, have one for free.
Oh, like, you're so sweet. And she looks over to Edward with kind of like an eye. And like, how come you didn't offer me one?
Miller conceals a smirk.
So does Richard.
Trouble in paradise, pal.
Ugh.
Edward is being unusually quiet, so I assume he's AFK.
Are you two leaking, Azil?
Oh, no, I think I was muted.
Yeah, you were.
I have to use the physical switch on the back of my headset, and sometimes it doesn't go all the way right. But anyway.
So, who's the lovely lady, Edward?
Well, this is Morgan. You've seen her playing in the Freebirds, I'm sure. And Morgan, this is the salvage team.
We're done salvaged.
Yeah.
You guys getting anything good from that big old Carrick over there?
Strip bear.
She looks over to Edward and then glances towards Erica. Anything good in it? Like, a good bit of money?
Miller looks around at the others as if trying to take control of the conversation.
Nothing too good. She's pretty badly shot up. Maybe we'll make something out of it.
There were boxes full of body parts. That was something.
Richard Erica under the table.
She looks over in surprise and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna tell like everybody about this. This is like huge news."
Look, Miller looks around. Guys, come on. You can't do this to a friend. Miss, they're pulling your leg. Okay?
She looks over and she's like, "Oh my god, that's like not funny. I was seriously."
It really is not. I mean, look at Mercy there. Would she be knocking him back like that if we'd just seen boxes full of body parts? Miller tries hard to restrain a laugh.
Yeah, like, I guess all of you are partying. It must be pretty good, huh, Edward?
Edward.
It was a strange experience.
Like, as long as we get off the station.
Well, that's the hope.
Well, clearly the station manager must be pleased if she's buying us drinks.
Oh, she's buying you drinks? If it's that old stuck-up bitch, it must have been really good.
Well,
Cassandra's not an old stuck-up bitch. She's a wonderful person. Smiles sweetly than
You are so full of shit. Miller gives a finger to the camera.
Me?
Like, oh my god. She definitely knows it. You don't have to try to hide it.
She should be proud of it, I guess. Must take a lot of effort.
Oh,
braver
trust
than
me.
All of us collected, guys.
She totally is really proud of it.
Erica's gonna knock back one of her shots and just be like, "So, Morgan, what happened after I took off? You said something about drama?"
Oh, like, Drawn, he tends to be like pretty chill, but he was really upset about our payment for last night or this evening.
Oh shit, they didn't shortchange us again?
No, like, they totally shortchanged us even more than normal.
Well, how much?
Like 25%.
Bastards, I should have been there and...
Yeah, like, if you're not around, he just totally, like, yanks her chain.
Yeah, well, hopefully we won't have to put up with that for much longer.
He sort of goes and sips at the drink and like leans into Edward's shoulder.
I lean my head in and point to Miller and Mercy and said they used to be married.
Oh my god, you guys are like such a cute couple together.
Yeah. Once upon a time.
Oh, but you look so sweet out there like that.
Don't push it, Gibbo. There are limits.
So why did you two break up?
Miller
why
looks.
did you?
Miller's cheeks flush hotly. Well, it was kind of a drunken dare in the first place.
Yeah. We were just good friends, you know, messing about. We messed about too much, maybe.
You have a fine talent for understatement there, my dear. Mercy here got herself thrown out of college because mine and her antics might have gone a little far. I mean, let me put it this way. Getting married was not the craziest thing we did in college, right?
I mean, fourth-year parties were insane. I get that, but you know, lighting up a mattress and tossing it out of the roof does not qualify for immediate expulsion.
It was when you stole the Grav flyer. I think that's when it went tits up. Sorry.
Oh, that. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah, you didn't forget about it. You don't remember it.
I neither deny nor confirm.
Yeah, well, I've got the mugshot. Sorry.
Do show. I miss those days.
Yeah, I miss him too.
That like totally reminds me of when I met Erica.
Hey, whoa.
Yeah, you guys must have some cool stories. Let's hear the dirt. Come on.
Yeah, I'd be interested in hearing some of these fun
Spill
stories.
it, Morgan. Also,
Like I'm gonna let
could you
Erica
sign this
tell the
also?
story. Oh, I can totally sign anything. She just sort of like takes it and like signs it. You can tell she's much. She's just like a member of the band. So like when she gets asked for a signature, she seems to like light up. Unlike Erica, she's like totally into it.
Nice. Well, sign this blank sheet of paper while you're at it too.
She signs that one as well with like a little like heart on like the end of her name.
Perfect.
So Erica, like tell them about how we met. It was amazing.
Yeah, Erica, tell us.
Oh, God.
Oh, come on. They don't need to hear the stuff like that. That's from back when I was, you know, still living with my family.
Come
And you were
on.
like so drunk. I've never seen you that drunk before or since then.
Come on, Erica. You know how this plays out. We've shown you ours. Now it's your turn.
Look, it was one time I didn't know how much alcohol was in those drinks. More than there was actual drink, at least.
I'm listening.
Every good story starts like that.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, you say that.
Okay, so like she was super drunk and her parents were having this big party at their house for some fancy folk. And like they had this really big fountain in there and Erica went she was like super drunk when she did this. She went over to the back of like the system and rerouted the plumbing to bring in the sewage. It was absolutely hilarious.
Still don't know how I did that while drunk.
It's just like a few button clicks.
Mercy, I think you found a kindred spirit, my dear.
We will be the best of friends.
Hey, was that
God help us. We're doomed.
Until we get arrested.
I heard a story like that. My sister was at some sort of party. Was that on Earth?
Yeah, would have been.
Oh. What a small universe.
Yeah, like I totally didn't help with that, by the way. She says with like this really guilty look on her face.
Of course not. That's totally not why you tried to cover for me afterwards.
Miller winks at Morgan.
Of course, if, my parents had thought it had been you, I don't know what would have saved you. So, good thing you're a bad liar.
Yeah, like it's such a good thing, isn't it? She says, and she has like this kind of like shit-faced grin.
Anyway, after that, we started hanging out more. Met the other two. And, yeah.
The rest is musical history.
Basically.
And now you're here playing in this shithole.
Hey, don't spoil the moment, pal.
Yeah, way to drag us down.
Yeah, well, better this shithole than the shithole I would have been in otherwise. So, there you go.
And life is merely a bunch of peaks and troughs anyway.
It sounds like someone could use another drink. Why don't you get us another round, Edward?
Yeah, Edward.
Yeah.
Go on, Edward.
That would be very much appreciated, Edward.
All right. I mean, I'm from a background where I've never had to worry about money, so it doesn't mean anything to me.
Excellent. Indentured slavery by the end of the night.
Money doesn't mean anything.
You toss over another like 7 UEC, Edward, and get everyone another drink.
Orange juice for Miller.
Yeah.
Wanna pull some pranks, you guys?
No.
Aw.
Not right now.
This place is a bit dangerous for pranks, isn't it? There's gangs and stuff all over the place.
It's fine. I've lived here all my life.
Maybe another 2 rounds, and we'll see.
I'll hold you up to that.
Well,
I swear
We
I've
spent-
heard you say that before.
we spent this morning sewing up a man's arm after he lost it in the trash compactor.
That was not a prank.
No, but this place is falling apart. It's a bit dangerous to be going around throwing pranks.
I warned him about that trash compactor.
Doc, you're fighting a losing battle.
You might as well give up, says Miller, smiling at Mercy.
Well, I mean, if we break it properly, they have to replace it and then it will be safer.
Richard just burst into laughter.
Dear, you're looking at the guy who would wind up probably being the one to fix it. You really think it will be safer?
I mean, I'm sure you'll do a fine job, wouldn't you? Have some pride in your work. Like me, I just chopped off a guy's arm. I'm very happy about that. I did a very fine job. If I say so myself.
Don't think the guy who lost the arm's going to be so happy about it.
Oh no, he should be. Like, if I didn't, he would be in so much pain. He should be thanking me. Really.
Did you ever go to university? Are you like an actual registered doctor, or?
Oh yeah, she went to university.
Oh yeah, I went.
Yeah, but you just said she got kicked out of university.
Oh,
got
after
me.
4 years? I mean, that's like full
To be-
circle.
To be fair, she was in the top 1% of her class. And I ain't talking about blood alcohol levels either. She's good. The girl's got talent.
You say so?
Well, I'm an actual doctor, and I say she is good at medical stuff.
Well, see, you I can trust, because I know you're on the straight and narrow.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Mrs. Rockstar.
Nothing personal, just,
Just business.
Well, no, just, you were talking about sawing off a guy's arm pretty gleefully.
Well, I saved his life, didn't I? You know what kind of infection you get from a crushed arm if it doesn't cut out? Like a lot. A lot. You can die.
Maybe
You know what?
it was a different thing we can talk about than.
Mercy is.
No, it's fine.
Alright, Mercy, you're getting a look from Morgan, by the way.
Oh? What kind of a look?
You would know, you probably met her before, that she's not in particularly fond of you. She's a bit jealous.
But why?
Out of nowhere, Miss White just says, "But why?"
I haven't.
You can take your best guess as to why.
Yeah, Erica's probably seen this look from Morgan before.
I'm clueless as to why. But okay. I mean, if you ever, get your arm crushed, you know who to come to. That's fine.
Oh, if I ever get my arm crushed, I'm more likely to go to Edward than you.
Whoa. Where are we going with this, people?
I would like it if no one got their arm crushed.
No
Aw.
one ever.
My favorite work is not doing work.
But how will I learn then?
Man, you sound a bit like Richard at that point.
What? I work?
I work, and I've seen how often you're in these places.
No
I
doctor
thought-
likes having to doctor, I'll tell you that. Well, maybe there are exceptions.
The waitress brings over another round of drinks for all of you.
3 drinks again?
Yeah, this time they're like various like shots, and after she drops them all on the table, she takes like a lighter and quickly like puts it over them, and they sort of are burning off the top.
Ooh, Sambuca.
Cool.
Oh, not for me. I don't think. I've probably got a whole queue of medical issues I need to deal with tomorrow.
Not a fan of aniseed.
Yeah, you're right there, Doc, and half of them are going to be around this table.
Meh. I don't plan to be around this table by the end of the evening.
How about
Yeah.
under it?
Whatever you do, don't try and shut up that waitress over there. She doesn't like it. To the one that was glaring at Richard earlier.
Shouldn't chat up a poor woman while she's doing her job anyway, mate. Disrespectful, like.
She was giving me
I
the
think.
come on.
Yeah, as
dreams.
in, come on, get out of here.
In your dreams, pal.
What a boy dream, you guys.
Richard gives the waitress a quick look and goes, "Yeah, she could do some fun things in my dreams."
Did the new round of drinks include one for Morgan?
It did.
I guess I'll just put mine in a plant then.
It's on fire.
Oh, I didn't think it was going to stay on fire forever.
No, it goes off after a minute.
Well,
It- Yeah, you have to put it out.
Yeah, I'll have that. If you don't mind.
And here's the guy that keeps the place running.
Yeah, you have a point.
Yeah, you were drinking a beer in the clinic, so, or whatever the word is.
Do you still have your pocket beer?
Oh! I reached into my coat. Oh, thank you for reminding me. I'd only drunk half of it. Really good beer, this.
I think it might be a bit flat.
Yeah, it's been kind of ruined by the vacuum of space.
No, it was inside my coat, and that was inside a vac suit.
Oh, okay.
Would it have floated out in the 0G?
Possibly.
I mean, if he was in a vac suit, he probably would have felt it the whole time pushing against him.
Yeah.
There'd have been this big wet patch around where the beer was.
Just imagine you got a tin of Foster's poking you in the ribs while you're working on that ship.
Don't drink Foster's, thank you.
I don't know many beer brands.
So you picked the shittiest one.
I picked the one that I've seen adverts for.
Other beers are available.
We have not been sponsored by Foster's. Anyway. Thank you for reminding me of this. Don't know how long it would have took before I found it.
You figured it out in the morning when you were soaked in bed.
Worse things can happen.
Well, all these heavy drinks on an empty stomach's not going to go well. Get some bar snacks in.
Oh yes. Get some nuts.
Sure, they bring you out some nuts and things. The waitress does. All the while, she makes sure to always stay on the opposite side of the table from Richard.
I just put on my best. What? Why me? Look.
She doesn't even make eye contact with you.
Blown it there, pal.
Get this a lot, do you, Gibson?
She looks at you and she says, "Can I get you all anything to eat aside from snacks?"
Burger, please.
Right away. Would you like some bacon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he would. It's just Miller looking up outside.
All our meat is prefab at the moment. Nothing fresh. Is that okay?
Miss Miller, behave yourself.
Fine.
What can I say? I can't even blame it on the drink.
She nods and she says, "I'm sure it'll be good. We got some fresh bacon this morning."
Erica's gonna shake her head, say, "Not hungry."
I'll take some.
Got any fries?
Yes, we do. Prefab as well, of course.
Takes large fries.
He nods.
Potatoes good for soaking up drink.
After that, she goes to get your orders and comes back like a few minutes later. It doesn't take long for them to get your food done.
Thank you, darling.
She just like looks the opposite direction.
Thank you very much.
You have so blown it. Give
Oh
up.
yes, it's been my pleasure serving you.
Oh,
Richard physically has to put his hand over his mouth not to make a sarcastic comment.
Barry, backhands gently Gibson. Gently backhands Gibson.
Do you do anything else aside from finishing your meals for the evening?
Well, I've only got one more round left until I'm hearing Miss White's talk of pranks.
Ooh. Are you ready to talk business now?
Well, including that beer, I guess I am.
Nice.
I'm not getting you out of bloody prison.
You won't need to. As soon as they realise something needs fixing, they'll let me out anyway.
I suppose.
Well, I was inspired by Erica's reversal of the, typing prank.
That sounds absolutely terrible. What are you thinking?
The exact same thing.
I don't think the station's got a statue you can do it with.
I mean, the toilet dolls are like tiny statues if you think about it.
Hey, remember the first order of business as a physician is first do no harm.
I never took the oath.
Well,
that explains a lot.
I always meant to, but circumstances.
All right. Well,
there's a loophole.
Tomorrow will be the swearing-in ceremony then, and you can take the oath then.
Bit late now, Doc.
Will I be a real doctor?
So you're not a real doctor?
Not yet, but as of tomorrow.
No, the Hippocratic Oath doesn't give you a medical degree.
Oh, then what's the point in giving it an oath?
Well, it's required to get the later parts.
Uh-huh.
So if you want DR before your name, you're gonna have to swear the oath.
Titles are overrated.
You want to practice medicine anywhere officially, you need to swear the oath.
I can always lie.
Mercy.
I mean, sure, I will give an oath, and I will be I do my absolute best to keep it. Yes.
It applies whether you mean it or not.
Well, I will mean it.
Good.
Just don't get caught.
Exactly.
Hey, look, everyone. Don't give my girl a hard time, okay? She's a good girl.
Thank you. You're not so bad yourself.
Miller raises his hat slightly.
It's always good to see when the divorced couple can get on well after the divorce.
Did you have that hat on while you were in your vac suit?
Yeah, the answer is yes, he did.
I did, yeah. I gotta say.
Miller, the Indiana Jones of the party.
Whatever. You don't know what's under here, pal.
Don't want to know what's under there.
Another hat. Exactly the same hat.
So, this is a cozy little gathering. But assuming we get this money, Where are you all headed after we get off the station?
To be honest, I don't know if I'll be leaving. Need somewhere I can hide. This is the best place I've found so far. At least I'll be able to maintain funds.
What are you hiding from?
Best not say it out loud right now, yeah? Let's just say it's a bunch of...
Murdering son of bitches?
I was thinking of a more intense word, but there are women present. A bunch of Muppets. Let's call them that.
Yeah, alright. Well, don't know where we're going, Morgan.
Yeah, like, I'm not really sure, just anywhere that's not this rock.
Basically, yeah.
You're coming too, aren't you, Edward?
I suppose. Depends where you want to go. I wasn't too upset to end up here. I sort of asked for a frontier post.
Well, I go where the course sends me, so...
All of you are like just a little too bound to things. You just need to be like a little more free, like a bird. Like a free bird.
You're not joining the band, Morgan.
Not even Eddie?
He can't play, he can't sing, he can't join the band.
You see this like disappointed look on her face, but you can also tell this conversation has probably been had more than one time.
You need to be able to play an instrument or sing to be part of a band. End of
Eddie,
discussion.
you've been practicing, haven't you, Eddie?
Medicine, yeah.
Trust me, I've heard some bands where being able to sing and play instruments are not necessary for being part of the band.
That's not when I told you to be practicing, Eddie. That's not what I meant.
It's fine. We don't need to have the same job.
You just see like the sort of disappointed look on her face, and then she says, "Yeah, but you know your job requires you to work with like other people," and she kind of eyes Mercy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
don't worry about it, Morgan. I'll go wherever he goes.
Seems to irritate her. Like, no, you know, you're fine. This place like really suits you. It really fits your general look.
Why, thank you. It becomes you after a while.
Yeah, like it sort of has that grungy kind of feeling to it. It reminds me of you.
Just be careful around those garbage disposals, you know.
Why have you done this to us, Ellie? Why?
She just sort of gives like a cheeky expression in your direction, Mercy.
I wink at her.
Besides that, it's bad luck to date people in the same profession as you.
Yeah, but if you break up and you're in a band, a lot of famous stories about that going very badly.
That's what I'm saying. Don't date inside the band.
Hey,
Hey, we're not going to break up.
leads to some
It's
great
not nice.
music. Look at ABBA.
Who?
ABBA. That's a very old band. You into the classics then?
Sort of, yeah. Let's put it this way, it's all my dad has.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, he's my dad's into old tech. He's got this bunch of stuff.
I can't even remember what the hell it's called, but he builds old decks to be able to play this shit.
I think, if memory serves, I think ABBA is a 20th century joint.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's when most of that music came about, wasn't it? Before everything went more, modern.
Better.
Maybe you're right, pal. I ain't no music buff.
Only
what
a
about-
little. You have to find stuff to entertain you when you're in the filter. But anyway, you were saying?
I was just thinking. It's a big, wide universe out there, and yeah, we make a pretty good team.
Do we?
Well, we ain't dead yet.
That is an excellent start.
It's a bit of a low bar, but that's a start. Yeah.
I mean, we wandered around an abandoned ship and didn't die. Go us?
You'd be surprised how easily it is to die in an abandoned ship.
I've heard so many stories about that kind of thing happening, especially around here. The pirates like to leave the ship abandoned with a distress signal, and then they'll jump you the second you show up to answer it.
Well,
They're
yeah, but they
quite
wouldn't jump
devious
out.
lot.
They wouldn't jump out right next to the station, right?
Probably not, but this area is kind of dodgy.
Well, yeah.
It's probably better off doing it along the main trade routes. I mean, they're not going to be able to steal much here, are they?
No, but they have all their bases in this area. The UAE is trying to kick them out, but they haven't had any real success so far.
I didn't know you were so into politics.
I just like to gossip. I hear everything that comes through here.
And some of it might even be true. I'll give Morgan a knowing smile.
Most of it is true. I just have to put my own spin on it.
Have you heard about any very wealthy people coming around lately?
Not that I know of, unless you're... She kind of eyes Erica for a second. Not that I know of.
Yeah, pretty sure we'd know if that happened.
Well, I was just wondering if the buyer that Commander said she had lined up might be known to anyone.
Oh, did she find a buyer? Who is it?
I don't know. That's why I was hoping you might have heard something.
Oh, no. I assumed that the UAE was going to take it.
Cass's buyer is a...
Yeah. Just, yeah, maybe. So, you might want to arrange for some nice private accommodation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Private.
Yes, getting kind of late. Morgan, why don't you start heading back? I'll finish up here, cover the tab, and be right out after you.
Yeah, sure. I'll see you later, Edward.
Bye.
He sort of gives a small wave and heads out.
Wait. I give her the umbrella in my ear.
Oh, she takes it.
Yeah.
She actually blushes a little bit, and then she actually, on her way out, she gossips with a few other people, talking to them. Everyone on the station seems to know her.
White till she's out of earshot and then look at Edward and goes, "You got a right keeper there."
Hey, it's my friend you're talking about.
Yeah, just be careful what you say around her. I think she likes to talk. Very good, very useful for getting information. Also, real bad if you want to keep something secret. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, secret like what specifically?
Oh, I don't know. Just, body parts, black ops shit, that kind of shit.
No, I mean, you got real cagey right now.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. Our friend here, Barry, has a little history with a group known as the Rattlesnakes. Well, I have it on good authority that they're coming into the station because, guess what, boys and girls? They're the buyers for that ship that we brought in today. So I think Barry here might be having to do a bit of low lying, if you know what I mean.
Right, but once they got it, they'll bugger off, yeah? And then we've got our money?
Wait, aren't they just smugglers? Why would they want... Oh, never mind.
Spare parts. Even the metal's worth something. Look, if they're paying, who cares? I mean, Gibbo and I went through that ship with a fine tooth comb. There's nothing classified, nothing that can hurt the UEE. She's just a wreck. No harm, none.
Right, so that said, I'll turn in for the night. And,
Yeah, just Erica, don't mention this to your pal, right? Because if she goes blabbing around the station that the Rattlesnakes are the buyers, well, could scare him off and could get our friend Barry here in some very deep water, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll placate her with something.
Hey, don't get me wrong, she's a nice girl. Apart from the fact she's down on my girl here.
Yeah, don't worry about that. She's not...
Yeah, I get it. Good night, Erica.
Yeah, see ya, whatever.
Good night, Erica.
Erica heads out. How long do the rest of you stick around?
So, Mercy, you stood up for that prank?
Ooh, yes.
Do I have to handcuff you?
She might
Oh, you
enjoy
wish.
it.
Who,
Look, just don't hurt anyone. Don't give yourself extra work. You're not going to get paid more for it.
no one's going to get harmed, right?
Right, of course. I mean, I can always use the extra practice, but, no harm done.
Oh dear. Thank goodness for alcohol.
Gives Mello a sort of worried look and nods to those two.
Yeah, I've got you.
Oh, come on, you guys. Live a little.
We want a big metal ball in the middle of space, and you want to start pranking things.
Fine. You're no fun.
My advice as your boss and your teacher is please don't. And with that, I'm going to go away as well. So I don't want to get too carried away and have a bad time in the morning when I'm having to deal with all of you lot who are certainly going to need to be coming by the office for something.
Night, Doc. Good night,
Good night.
Edward. Says Miller, trying to ape Morgan's voice.
Good night, Edward.
Good night.
Bye,
Edward.
pal.
So, are the rest of you gonna disperse for the evening, or are you gonna do this prank?
Quite a
Well-
lot is going to disperse, apparently.
Barry, I take him to one side. Your best plan, pal, is to find some place to camp out. You don't know when those guys are going to get here, and if you're caught in flagrante delicto in the middle of some prank, well, they're going to throw you out an airlock, pal.
Barry, at this point, his eyes are drooping a little bit. Nah, I'll be fine, mate.
Hit the sack, pal. See you tomorrow. And you, young lady,
Yes.
You're no fun.
once we're off this station, you'll see a different side. You got an oath
Oh.
to say. You got an oath to say in the morning. Don't you have to, I don't know, pray or something?
Or at least be sober.
I mean, I guess. You guys are no fun. She's gonna pout, then heads off to her room.
Miller sort of follows to make sure that, that she actually goes back to her quarters. And also because he's slightly worried about.
Why are you doubting me?
Barry hangs around the corner and goes psst to Mercy as she comes round.
I saw that.
Quick! I don't think he's seen us yet.
Miller breaks up your corroboration and chases you both off to your respective quarters for the evening. And I think that's where we'll end this session.
Nice.
So I hope all of you had fun, and I'm going to shut down the stream. Thanks everyone who watched.
Awesome.
I'm
Thank
surprised you
you.
didn't end on a cliffhanger like suddenly klaxons start going off.
No.
While everyone else is sleeping.
No, no klaxons. The plank's been called off.